Serve yourself some Arizona sports. Subscribe to the Arizona Sports YouTube channel.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Let's be honest, summers can be unbearable in Arizona, but there's an answer. And now Presidential Pools is doing their best to make your dream pool a possibility in your own backyard with a limited time full financing offer. 0 closing costs plus $500 cash back. And this offer is good through August 31st. Celebrating 35 years of building Arizona's dream backyards. Go to presidentialpools.com today.
Hey, it's Gamble, and I'm here with Stuart Willis, the president of Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Stuart, you handle retirement planning, financial planning, tax planning. How important is estate planning to somebody's overall portfolio?
Listen, I think it's one of the most overlooked things. A lot of people say they're going to get to it eventually, and they never do. Look, I mean, here's the thing. I sometimes say I'm a bit hypocritical because I've been thinking the importance of having an estate plan and a living trust for 20 years. I just got mine done a few years ago. So a lot of you out there know they need to get it done because look, here's the thing. Probate is not an evil process. It's just expensive and time consuming, and it's a process you can avoid by having proper estate planning.
And especially for those of you in split families, because then you've got to divide assets among 2 different families. It becomes very difficult. If you want to get an estate plan as part of your portfolio, call Stuart Willis at Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax at 602-877-PLAN.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. When your joints hurt every day and you've been told you need surgery, it can feel like you are out of options. My advice, do your homework. Remember, once a joint is replaced, there's no going back. Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here, and before you schedule surgery, consider getting a second opinion from QC Kinetics. Discover how they use regenerative treatments to deliver relief to patients just like you right here in the Valley. They concentrate healing tools within your body right at the source of your pain, and the whole idea is to give you a real shot at holding off on surgery or, in some cases, avoiding it altogether. And that's why it makes sense to explore every option before making a decision that can change your life. Don't just accept that surgery is your only choice. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. You can find clinics in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, and Chandler. Just call 602-837-PAIN, 602-837-PAIN for QC Kinetics.
After the D-backs-Dodgers game on Friday, August 7th, enjoy a free post-game concert featuring Jayco. Add a concert field pass to your ticket and see the show from the field. Visit dbacks.com/concerts.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620.
And now, an on-air sports marketing presentation. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at ArizonaSports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a record need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
All right, here we go. It's Friday. We're out right Toyota, and I don't know if you could ask for a better sports weekend in Arizona because football is back. Baseball suddenly got very interesting, and one of the greatest athletes in this state which we've ever seen, is about to get the gold jacket. But we're going to start with the D-backs because you look at who's walking into Chase Field tonight. It's the Dodgers. And normally when you say that, we're talking about a monster sitting on top of the National League West that everybody else is just chasing. Well, Dodgers have lost 6 straight, 8 of their last 10. And here come the D-backs, 61-55, holding on that final wild card spot. They're 8.5 behind LA. So no, I'm not telling you the division race is suddenly on, not yet. But what I am saying this is you got them down. They're coming into your building, and you already went into Dodger Stadium and swept these guys once this summer. So don't let them come into Phoenix and get healthy. Step on them. Win tonight. Make it 7 straight. And then let's see how uncomfortable things get over there. And while we're talking about uncomfortable, how about the Cardinals quarterback room this morning? Because Carson Beck made his NFL debut last night, as we all know. And 15 of 19, 188 yards, a touchdown, no picks, 125 quarterback rating, which Manuch will break down later. He leads a 96-yard touchdown drive. Looked a whole lot more comfortable than I expected for a rookie in the 3rd round in his first NFL game. Cardinals did lose, doesn't matter, 33-30. Do I care? Not really. It's the Hall of Fame game. What I care about is whether we saw something last night. And with Carson Beck, yeah, I think we did. And not that I'm saying there's a quarterback controversy. I'm not putting him in Canton after one preseason game. But I definitely woke up this morning wanting to see more of this kid. And speaking of Canton, tomorrow, of course, belongs to Larry Fitzgerald, the number 11, which Carson Beck wore the number in the press conference, which was cool. And Cardinals forever, right? One of the greatest receivers ever to play this game, Pro Football Hall of Famer. And I think it's going to hit Arizona a little different tomorrow night because we watched the entire thing. This Pitt kid comes to Cardinals, 3rd round pick overall, 17 seasons, every catch, every playoff moment, not a lot, every terrible Cardinals team, but he's still stuck around. Of course, the Super Bowl run, the touchdown against Green Bay, all of it. And tomorrow night, Larry Fitzgerald gets the gold jacket. That's a pretty damn good sports weekend. We got the D-backs and Dodgers tonight. We got Carson Beck to talk about after last night. And we got Fitz going into Canton. And we've got 3 hours to get into all of it. With Manuch and I, we got Laz back at the studios, a Friday edition here at Wright Toyota. So LFG.
You know, here's the thing,
You don't know what that means.
Let's effing go.
Good job.
Yeah, baby.
You're learning.
I'm not that naive, Roc.
Yes, you really are.
Here's the thing. You looked at Carson Beck. I was impressed with some of the things that number one, you asked me yesterday, what would I look for the most? Taking care of the ball security, not forcing the issue. And in some of the throws he had were I call them good misses. He missed up the field on a deep ball. He threw – the one thing was very impressive was when they were down on the goal line, he sprinted out, and they had a receiver release into the flat. He felt pressure was covered. He threw it away, Roc. He threw it around, wasn't going to be grounding, but he had the savvy and smarts to go ahead and throw that football away. The other thing I was really impressed with was his eye. We call it the eye game. Looking off the defense – coming to your receiver and putting the ball where it's supposed to be. Extremely accurate. The game didn't look any more out of sorts for him, as far as him getting out over his ski tips. It didn't look like he was harried at all. Looked like he was under control. His motions were under control. And he stepped up in the pocket and he made throws. He had a couple of nice runs. He had the one nice run for a first down. I just was impressed with his presence, his poise, and not letting the game get out in front of him. Just kind of taking what they gave him. Took a couple nice shots down the field. Nice to see this Cardinals team stretch the ball down the field, especially with the one to Brooks. Had a couple others to Brooks. And on top of that, the nice touch, the nice pass. He had to Fiocco for the touchdown.
5 yards. That was awesome.
Very nice touch. I mean, there's guys that are throwers, and then there's guys that are passers. Carson Beck, what I've seen in college, and I've seen so far in the pros, can throw it and he can pass it. So that was nice touch. Had some nice passes, some nice throws. He zinged a couple in there when he had to. And we'll catch up with a former Georgia head coach and Jim Donnan at 3 o'clock that watched Carson Beck intimately as a quarterback in his few short years at Georgia to get his thoughts on some of the intangibles that Carson Beck brings to the football field. But his poise, his presence, and quite frankly, Roc, the maturity for a guy that's 24, 25 years old and has played 6 years of college football. You could see that in him It wasn't anything more than he can handle. Where, hell, a lot of us are deer in the headlights. You got this team coming at you or that team coming at you. Now, mind you, with second, third teamers, all that being said, I kind of throw water on that going, look, he executed, he performed. So you could say all that you want. And they only blitzed him a couple times, too. There was pretty vanilla defense. But he did a good job of handling the situation that was presented to him and took the ball down the field. Hey, we go into halftime at 17-all. When's the last time in a Hall of Fame game you saw 6 drives with 6 scores, Rock? Ever. Both teams combined.
And that's the first time a Hall of Fame game had both teams score at least 30 points.
I mean, first time.
I love the fact that we're seeing, I know it's preseason, okay, but hey, it's football. The fact that they're airing it out and they're scoring points, I love it. I mean, we all know this team's not going to win a lot of games, but they're going to give up a lot of points.
Sure.
But they're going to score a lot of points.
And that's going to be the Achilles heel for this team, is that they're going to have to outscore their opponents, 35-28, 32-24. Those kind of games is what you're going to get, I think, this year with the Arizona Cardinals. And to your point, my son, he's a big Cardinal fan. He's in Denver watching. We're texting back and forth. He goes, Dad, this is the best I've seen any kind of a semblance, whether it be preseason or regular season. And I use the term, Rock, I said organized. They looked very organized. Hell, they didn't have any turnovers. They had a fumble, but they got it back. No turnovers.
There was one turnover total.
Right? In the entire game.
For a preseason game.
I mean, so both teams took care of the ball.
By the way, that quarterback for Carolina, kid from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, the King kid.
Freaking, he's a baller.
Yeah.
He's a baller.
I didn't realize at the combine he ran a 4.45.
But he didn't even get drafted.
I know. He's and you watched him, you watched Beck. Even Keaton Slovis, I thought, threw the ball very well.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, Keaton Slovis, local kid with Desert Mountain, was it?
Desert Mountain High School.
And
who will be taking some time to join us on the show next week.
Shut up.
Shut
up.
Lads,
We'll
call on you when we need
We'll call on you. You ring the bell. You can come
ring the bell.
I don't have the bell anymore.
No. Lads, your name's not on the marquee. You are only spoken to. Did your mom teach you? I know you're a twin. I get it.
Triplet.
Just triplet. Yeah, that's even worse. 3. So just shut up. Just stay in your little
Friday
room
fun
there.
day.
No, it's not for you. You still work. You work 3 hours a day. So just relax. We'll call on you when it's appropriate.
When needed.
Sir, yes,
The
sir.
whole BS thing about Laz. So just so you guys know, Laz went to Desert Mountain.
He's supposed to be boys with Slovis.
Keaton's been on a lot.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Next week, you'll see it. I promise.
So former USC, we're not going to answer you. Former USC quarterback, Pitt and BYU quarterback. Hell with Desert Mountain. So there you have it. So let's move on. And, this kid's been, he's fighting for his football life right now. He loves this. He's good in the preseason. Slovis is trying to show somebody that he belongs in the league.
And we talked about this yesterday. Hey, look, if it's not here, it may be somewhere, because he was 9 for 10. And if he continues to put good, put some good tape out there, they'll go, okay, let's say at the end of preseason, he's 40 for 50. And they like the way he throws the ball, the way he takes care of the football. He doesn't throw picks. He basically had the 1 touchdown pass. Whatever that is, that'll bode very well for him, that if he's got audition to go to another team, if they cut him, I think that's very viable for Keaton Slovis as well.
What kind of grade would you give the Cardinals quarterback Carson Beck in last night's game? That is our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day. Of course, State 48 Roofing, Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Visit state48roofing.com. A, B, C, or D, just go vote on any of our social media platforms. Also, today's the last day that you can register for the Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B Bluetooth speaker and $100 Biggs American Bar and Grill gift card. All you got to do is text ESPN to 59925. That's 59925. Just text ESPN. Standard message and data rates apply. Of course, Biggs American Bar and Grill, where the food's hot, the beer's cold, and sports fans call home. Will be there on Monday night for Monday Night Football. We have some big announcements today, by the way, on football season. Finally, with the first game under belt, we could finally come out and tell you some of the things that we're doing. This is probably our biggest year in 22 years. Every day we're going to be on remote, and we are stepping it up with DraftKings and Twin Peaks and Biggs and here at Honda and Toyota. It's just a very busy deal coming up, but At 3:30, Charlie Ragle will be joining us, and he is going to be part of our show. He's going to be part of our show on Fridays, thanks to Crest Insurance, and he will be with us at DraftKings on Fridays as we are going to be doing this college football hour, which will have all the coaches from Arizona, Arizona State, and NAU on with us in the 2 to 3 o'clock hour. But what's big on that is we are doing cash giveaways. So from 1 to 4 at DraftKings on Fridays during the football season, the first quarter of the football season, you come on down and you just pop in while we're there, and we have envelopes of cash, 5,
nice,
10s,
nice.
20s, 50s, 100s, and you pick up one of those, and then that automatically, you open up, you get your cash, and automatically allows you to participate in my cash giveaway, Manuch's Alligator Arms, but I'm putting up $100 every week of my own cash, and we're going to do picks every week, and whoever gets the closest will win. It's $100 is always there. It'll be 2 college, 2 pro, and then the Monday night game. So we'll have that for you. And if you win the cash, you're going to come down and join me at DraftKings and buy me a beer. Hopefully a Michelob Ultra.
Sure, appreciate that, Rock.
So
throwing
doing
that cash out
and
there.
then we'll
Dinero.
do something on the air too, DraftKings gift card. So pretty excited about that. So Charlie Ragle will join us a little bit later to talk about that too. So anyway, a rookie quarterback is throwing darts in Canton. We got the walk-off gut punch. And a night at Chase Field, the D-backs would rather forget. We got all the sounds next. Our replay rewind is coming up right here on ESPN Radio Phoenix, 98.7 FM HD2. We're on YouTube and on the Arizona Sports app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Right Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Right Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Right Toyota. Right Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Right Toyota. Make the right choice, Right Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at righttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out righttoyota.com.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Arizona's future depends on a skilled workforce, and that's why students don't just learn at Pima JTED, they do. From healthcare to technology and construction to design, the JTED classroom model gets high school students ready for college, a career, or both, teaching them the skills Arizona employers need right now. Discover how Pima JTED students can support your business. Learn more at PimaJTED.org. That's PimaJTED.org. This message is sponsored by Potoff Private Philanthropy.
Living and having fun in the hot summer sun can turn deadly when mixed with stimulants. Stimulant drugs raise body temperature, impair the brain's ability to regulate heat, and makes it harder for the heart to cope with extreme heat. Studies show 1 in 5 heat-related deaths have involved meth, a stimulant that overheats the body, putting users at higher risk. Be aware and stay safe. Meth and heat is a deadly mix. Visit thenewmeth.com.
Sponsored by the Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Now, it's It's time for our replay rewind. The top sounds of the night and whatever Roc decides to add. Let's get to it in replay rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD2.
All right, out here at Wright Toyota, Roc Manuch with you today here on ESPN Radio 620. We're on YouTube. Check us out there. Just search Roc and Manuch, ROCMANUCH. All right, for a rookie quarterback, there's nothing quite like getting that first taste of an NFL game and some NFL action. And after game, Carson Beck talked about finally getting on the field and experience the speed of the league firsthand.
It feels great, to go in and, succeed and execute and within the offense. And obviously, again, there's going to be things to fix. You got to go watch the tape, and there's always so much room to improve. Even just, being a rookie, being a new guy, and, kind of getting my first taste of the league. So I'm looking forward to continue grinding throughout training camp and obviously the rest of preseason and any opportunities that I may get.
When he talks about the speed of the game, practices and scrimmages are like second gear, if that. You get to a game, National Football League, whether it's preseason or regular season, it's like fourth gear. And then when you get to the regular season, let's just notch it up another gear. It's like fifth gear because all the starters, everybody is in there, and they're just flying around. So your pre-snap look, your drops, to what he just said, they're watching a lot of film, a lot of tape, not only himself, but those defenses is so vitally important just because how fast the game really is once you start a regular season game.
Getting snaps is one thing. Looking comfortable while doing it is another. Beck was asked after the game how he settled in and felt once that offense got rolling.
Yeah, well, football is not easy at all. Football is a difficult sport, and the quarterback is definitely a difficult position. But man, when you got good people around you and guys are out there making plays, it definitely makes my job a lot easier. Again, like I said, the offensive line protected their butts off, and you got wide receivers making contested catches, getting open against man coverage. That's all you can ask for. Running backs making tough physical, turn a 2-yard gain into a 4-yard gain, 4-yard into 6, et cetera, et cetera. But again, it does make my job easier when guys are out there, around me, and the coaches are putting me in good positions. So again, I'm only one of the 11.
So when he said the coaches put him in good positions, I felt that the first 4 or 5 throws he had were very safe, good, comfortable throws. To his point, he had good protection. He had the one rollout. We threw it back inside. Matter of fact, his first pass rolling out to the right, throwing it back inside to the tight end was a great throw. So they gave him some very confident, easy throws, and also for the pass protection, make it easy for them. And once they kind of started getting a couple first downs here and there, everybody got comfortable. I mean, Roc, they were 60% on third down conversions, which helped all those drives. So those drives were good throws, good safe throws. And then when they saw a couple things, I thought it was excellent how LaFleur set up the corners on cover 2, a little pump and go to Brooks up the field. So they were doing some scheming even early in that game, especially in that second quarter when he threw the ball down the field. But the key is just giving him some comfortable, safe throws so he can kind of ease into the game.
All right, we're doing a replay rewind. Coach Mike LaFleur, the state of the quarterback room. Of course, the competition in that quarterback room continues to be one of the storylines at least we are getting into. Maybe for them it's not. I think it's pretty clear who the starting quarterback will be once the regular season starts. But after the game, Coach gave his overall assessment of where that quarterback room stands.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go off of today. I thought both those guys went out and, like I said, they operated well. They got in and out of the huddle. They went through their progressions. I think Jacoby, when the ball's been snapped, has been doing the same thing in practice, and same with Gardner. I think Gardner's just getting better every single day right now. And, again, just every day is a great day for us, particularly when we get our ones out there to keep getting Jacoby kind of caught up in terms of the language and all that. But we were kind of joking, the other day about how in 1 week, how much more comfortable him and I already are in terms of, communicating to each other.
Just as I mentioned earlier, the organization, the passes, the pass blocking. And if you notice, Roc, looked very similar to the Rams offense, those bootlegs and those waggles that you saw coming across and bootlegging out to the right, your tight end coming down across the field or throwing down on those hook routes. Very similar. So those are some of the more noticeable things you saw with this offense. And think about it. This Slovis and Beck, 24-29 on the day. And as you mentioned earlier, Beck was 125 QBR, quarterback rating. I have to get the slide rule out in the abacus to figure out what that is, but that's being called very efficient with the throws that you have and getting rid of the football in a couple different times where nobody was open. So you hear Mike LaFleur talk about what he loves seeing the progress, he loves seeing the growth, and that's his first stepping stone for Carson Beck.
I saw this on Instagram, or maybe it was TikTok last night. I think it was one of the best moments of the night. Clearly, it happened before the game. It had nothing to do with football. Mike LaFleur, of course, his brother Matt is the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Well, while Mike was doing an interview with NBC before the game, his brother Matt unexpectedly showed up on his phone and called him with a surprise. And here's how that sound went.
Hey, Coach, what are we thinking about doing a pregame interview? Don't you have a team to coach?
You know, I thought you guys had practice and meetings, but obviously you're letting your coordinators do that. So.
Oh, yeah, we let them out early tonight.
Good to hear from you, man.
You got the challenge flag?
I don't have the challenge flag yet. You know what? Thanks for bringing that up, because that's probably something I was going to miss. We got a lot of red out here right now. I did tell the officials. I did tell the officials, Matt, that I'm not going to slam the challenge flag like my brother. So they got a nice kick out of that.
Yeah, I've been known to do that a few times. But, hey, man, you've earned this op. Go let it rip. Have fun. And I'm proud of you, buddy. Love you, man.
Love you too, dude. Thanks.
That's pretty cool stuff.
Sounds like he got a little emotional there with
he did afterwards,
Big Bro.
yeah.
Yeah, good. I missed that one.
You know, one thing that I thought was pretty interesting is, and you may agree, may disagree, but you know, the more you hear from Coach LaFleur, the more you think of Coach McVay with the Rams. They sound very similar.
Doesn't talk as fast though. He's
not as fast, but they're. I mean, I think McVay is one of the best coaches with the media.
Oh, sure.
I mean, he tells you everything. He doesn't hold back. He doesn't play the games, you know. And I think, you know, 3 years of LaFleur being in L.A. under him, I think some of that is kind of down to him.
You do hear some coach speak, some talking points from that McVay uses. The one thing about LaFleur is he'll give you just enough. I mean, he just gives you just enough. I think McVay would give you a lot more. He'd expound on it. He's more transparent. I think once LaFleur gets more and more comfortable with his head coaching and being out front and center, they'll only share so much to where they're at. And I think that's one of the things you hear Mike LaFleur.
All right, we're doing a replay rewind. Let's switch gears to get into the D-backs. Not much really to get into yesterday, but Gabby Moreno, he got the D-backs on the board in the third inning. Here's what he delivered, an RBI single, which cut the deficit to 3-1.
The 0-1. Swung on. That's a base hit into right field. Carroll will round third and score with these. Moreno comes through with his second hit. It's now 3-1.
So not much there to talk about, but here's Torey Lovello on the missed bases loaded opportunity, as D-backs had an early opportunity to kind of change the complexity of this game with the bases loaded, but they couldn't cash in. Here's what he had to say afterwards.
Yes and no. I felt like that was one of the situations I was talking about where we just couldn't get that big knock. But I felt like we were going to continue to build innings. I knew that they had a very strong back end, but what they were going to do in the middle, I felt we were going to be able to counterpunch, and we just couldn't. But yeah, had we scored more runs, I know it was left at 3-1. Had we got an opportunity to slug a little bit there, it would have been a totally different situation. We would have gone to different parts of our bullpen, maybe kept the score a little bit tighter. So yeah, it was changed the game and the complexities of the game for sure.
And two of those guys had an opportunity to drive in some runs were Arenado and Tawa. Both of them having some chances with those bases loaded not to get those across. And those are some of the things that he's emphasized here in the second half of the season. Runners in scoring position, even though I think they were 2 out of 5. It's just those opportunities against the Padres. When you got the bases loaded and you got a pitcher on the ropes, is taking advantage of that, and that they didn't do yesterday.
All right, today's Replay Rewind is brought to you by the law offices of Lerner & Rowe. In a wreck, need a check, make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900, and always at lernerandrowe.com. We are out here at Wright Toyota, of course, every Friday. During the early part of the football season, we'll be out at DraftKings. Looking forward to that. We'll have more on that later. But back-to-back sweeps, 6 straight losses, 22 runs scored while giving up 42. The Dodgers are in their worst stretch of the season. They open 3 at Chase Field tonight with the D-backs, who are clinging on that wild card spot. Is the machine actually broken, or is this the calm before October? We're going to catch up with Spectral Sportsnet's LA's Jerry Hairston Jr. and get his inside view on that next. But here's Laz with a sports update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped the series finale to the Padres yesterday, settling for a split in the 4-game set at Chase Field. And it doesn't get any easier from here, as Arizona now welcomes the 2-time defending world champs, the Los Angeles Dodgers, to town for another crucial weekend set. And last night, the NFL preseason officially got underway as the Cardinals fell to the Panthers 33-30 in the Hall of Fame game. But despite the loss, rookie quarterback Carson Beck impressed in his debut, completing 15 of 19 passes for 188 yards and a touchdown. Football season starts at Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Get your league together and host your fantasy football draft party at your local Twin Peaks. The commissioners will receive a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Enjoy cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs, and everything you need for the perfect draft day.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Hey, it's Jimmy B. Football season is here, and there's never been a better time to grow your business. Partner right now with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, with live endorsements, show sponsorships, featured segments, remote broadcast, and so much more. YouTube, social media, and commercials, all built around your goals and your budget. Visit rocandmanuch.com and click advertise. Let's grow your business together.
Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Lerner & Rowe today and let's make them pay. Call 977-1900.
Call 977-1900.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
It's heating up across Arizona. Make sure you know the signs of heat stress, cramps, rashes, exhaustion, dizziness. Working in high temperatures can be dangerous. It can lead to an altered mental state, damage your organs, and even cause death. Protect yourself. Get plenty of water, rest, and shade during the day.
Learn more from the Industrial Commission of Arizona. Visit azica.gov/heat. This message is sponsored by the Industrial Commission of Arizona.
It's Friday. And the guys are live from Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the flex. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
To the top of the order, Shohei Ohtani leads off. Liner, deep center field. Here it is. Just takes Ohtani to snap this pitcher stool.
All right, 6 straight losses swept Boston and then the Cubs. Joining us now from Spectrum Sports, LA and World Series champion, Jerry Hairston Jr. joins us now on the Right to the guest line. How we doing, Jerry? How are you? What's going on?
Well, how you guys doing? How's everything?
Good, man. From your seat, I know it's a big seat. It's probably just a cushion, real nice, soft cushion. When you're doing the half game, pregame, everything you're doing, all the post game stuff, not half time, but you know what I mean, all that stuff you do. From your seat, is this a slump or some type of symptom? Slump or symptom?
I think it's a couple things, a couple different factors.
Okay.
We're not playing well. We're not playing well, and we really haven't been playing well the last probably 25, 30 games. And when you're not playing well and you're playing teams, good teams, and they're playing well, you're going to get your butt kicked. And that's what's been happening. And we're really missing our catcher, Will Smith. You know, Will Smith is a difference maker behind the plate, calling games. And I've said this for the last 3 or 4 years. He's one of the most clutch athletes, not just baseball players, one of the most clutch athletes that in this generation. And here's another thing. And I know if I get into it, Dodgers are cheating, they're ruining baseball. I sit and watch this team every day. And I remember heading into 2025's postseason, we didn't have a rotation. We had to shift the rotation with obviously Yamamoto, but we had to bring in Jack Flaherty. He was our number 2. We had to trade for him. And Walker Buehler was just coming off an arm injury. He was our number 3. We had to really rely on our bullpen. A lot of people did not pick the Dodgers heading into the postseason to represent the National League in the World Series because of our lack of pitching depth. Fast forward to last season. Nobody picked the Dodgers heading into the postseason to represent the National League in the World Series because we had no closer. Our bullpen was absolutely taxed, and we weren't hitting that well. We didn't really hit that well in the postseason, hit 203 in the World Series. That usually doesn't get it done. And we had to shift our bullpen a little bit and have Roki Sasaki be our closer. So, as you guys know, last year, Blue Jays could have easily won the World Series. And we're very fortunate to have guys have clutch moments to win and thus be back-to-back champions. So, heading into this, down the stretch of this season, it's going to be really hard for this Dodger team. They know it, to three-peat. It's next to impossible in our sport to three-peat. So, and teams know that. That's why a lot of teams at the deadline got better. And we saw 2 of them, and we're going to see one tonight. Arizona Diamondbacks. They're playing very well, and it's going to be a tough task for the Dodgers.
Jerry, you talk about a lot of, as Roc alluded to, symptoms, and you're just not playing good baseball. I get, obviously, it's pitching, it's a bullpen. You guys have been so good with your depth about plugging holes with guys that have come in and performed. You guys have been so good at clutch hitting. You said lack of clutch hitting. So what you're talking, are these very curable situations or symptoms? How quickly does these have to get cured or cured so the Diamondbacks, let's say they go on a run or whomever else, doesn't catch them and actually threaten them to win the National League West, let's say the last 2 weeks of September?
Well, they got to get cured. If you're a Dodger fan, they got to get cured pretty quickly here. You remember last year the Dodgers played in the wild card series. They weren't the top two seed in the National League, so they had to play against the Reds in the wild card series. Another thing too is people forget this is the oldest group as well. And I want to be completely honest. I've said this on air a couple of times. I'm surprised, especially the start of the season, the Dodgers came out of the gate playing better than I thought they would. They have played more games than anybody. They started the season in 2025 in Korea, long grind of a season, go to the World Series, then the very next year, quick off season, start the season before anybody else with the Cubs in Japan. I mean, there's been a lot of baseball, meaningful baseball the last 2.5 years, and I think guys are hitting a wall a little bit. But I think this team understands that they just need to be playing their best baseball at the end of September, heading into the postseason. Hopefully, their experience with their talent, without question, and getting guys back like Will Smith, they do that, they'll have a shot to three-peat.
Jerry Hairston Jr. joining us here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Dave Roberts had questioned the lineup's fight during some of the skids before. What do you think the mood is in that clubhouse right now?
I would agree with Dave Roberts because what I've seen, the last 10 days or so, especially with the offense, I wouldn't say there were a couple of games there was no fight, and the players would agree with that. But for the most part, I think they're fighting, and we showed some fight last game against the Cubs. And I said it earlier, there's no excuse. I think they're gassed. I saw it in 1993 with the Chicago Bulls. I saw it in 1998 with the Chicago Bulls. Those teams are gassed trying to three-peat, absolutely gassed. And they crawled to the end of the season, and they had some guy named Michael Jordan carry them, to three-peat both times. And they were an older team in 98. They should have never won. They should have never beat the Jazz in 98. But Michael Jordan willed them to three-peat. It's going to take something like that for this team to have veteran guys kind of will themselves, because I could see that they're gassed a little bit. Now I'm hoping they get a second win. I'm hoping they get a second win late September. You can see it taking its toll a little bit. But this veteran group knows that right now, you want to play good baseball, but right now it's not the time, if you're gassed, to kind of put the pedal to the metal.
So, Jerry, you got the Suzuki's on the mound tonight, Yamamoto tomorrow. Let's talk about Skubal, him coming to this team and how much that will lift the team. I know he lost the game the other day, 7-6 against the Cubs. But just talk about how much, if that does, lifts this team up. And to your point, Jerry, toward the end of the season and into the playoffs, talk to us about him, what you see in him, and what his upside is going to be the remainder of the season for the Dodgers.
Well, he's an absolute stud. He reminds me of Clayton Kershaw a little bit. Kind of that herky-jerky delivery. He's a strike thrower, commands the strike zone, is proud of his stuff. And you know what? If I had his stuff, I'd be proud of it too. So he's a competitor, and he's a young pitcher. People forget he's been around a while, two-time Cy Young Award winner, but he's still young. So we're going to need him to really pitch well down the stretch and in the postseason. We talked about Suzuki. He's a young guy. We're going to need our young guys to really step up to kind of shoulder the load. I'm hoping Tucker, who's young as well, our right fielder, really catches fire. He's swinging the bat the last couple days, and hopefully kind of help lengthen our lineup and kind of carry us a little bit for the next couple weeks to a month or so and help out our lineup. So, Skubal's a stud. Suzuki's a stud. Without question, Dodgers have a lot of talent. Nobody will argue with on that. So we're going to need the younger studs to really kind of carry us through the next couple months.
Does it make in baseball? You guys got swept by the D-backs at the end of the break, right before the break, I should say.
Does that stick by the D-backs?
Yeah. Does that stick in the craw of baseball players? I mean, I'd be a little fired up if I was the Dodgers. Or is that just you just take one day at a time? Or you know what I'm saying? It's like if I got my butt kicked by the Packers, we play them in the playoffs. We're looking to get revenge. I mean, is that kind of mentality in a clubhouse, Jerry?
Sure. You never want to get your butt kicked anytime, anywhere. And we know there's some history. People forget it wasn't that long ago where the Dodgers lost to the D-backs, and the D-backs went to the World Series. Players remember that. They do understand that this is the regular season. You never want to, put too much weight on regular season games, but at the same time, you're there to win series. You take it series by series. You're aware the D-backs are playing great baseball. They always seem to play great baseball against you if you're the Dodgers. So you better be able to bring your A game, especially in the desert, because this D-backs team is playing well and extremely talented.
Jerry, Ohtani hasn't pitched since early July. What's the real plan for him on the mound, at least down the stretch?
It's really to be determined. It's all about his knee. He's so important to our offense that, we don't want – if he's at 85%, I don't expect him taking the mound for the next month or so. I'm sure he'll build up a little bit, but the most important thing is that knee getting healthy or close to 100%, heading into the postseason. So if he does appear on the mound, I think that's a plus. That means he's 100% or close to 100%. But he's still feeling ill with that knee. I don't see him getting on that mound anytime soon. Now, that being said, if we're approaching the postseason, as it is late September, he may get back on the mound, meaning he may be used as an opener. Maybe give us an inning or two, and then bring somebody else in, because he doesn't have to go out and pitch 7 innings, especially with the staff that we have. The most important thing is that knee being healthy and him providing that punch and thunder from the offensive side of the ball, because our offense has really been shaky the last probably month, 6 weeks or so.
Jerry, I think, 16 years? Is that how long you played? 16 years?
That's right, give or take.
Okay. What did your veteran clubhouses do to snap a streak like this? I mean, you were some pretty good teams.
Damn good
and
teams.
You had some streaks.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean, you guys talk about it while you're playing cards. I mean, how does that go? Got to walk us through that. I mean, kangaroo court changes. I mean, what happens?
No, you try to mix up, and you understand when you're a veteran team, you understand you're going to have ebbs and flows of the season. So there's really not a whole lot said. All you do is focus on playing good baseball. If we play good baseball, we're gonna put ourselves in position to win. It was a little different, when with a younger team. A younger group, I always try to get them laughing. You know what I'm saying? And I would try to say, listen, boys, we're allowed to win a game. Kind of loosen it up. Sometimes when you're a young player or a young team, you think the world is caving in if you lost 3 or 4 in a row, right? Am I going to get set down? If there are going to be changes, you're a little on edge when you're a young team and a young player. So I always try to loosen up that clubhouse and to make sure, guys, hey, we're going to get our butt kicked every once in a while. This is the show. But at the same time, we can do some butt kicking of our own. We just got to make sure we're mentally prepared for that and put ourselves in position to do that. Bottom line is play well. That's always my pitch. A few years back, I was asked, if I wanted to manage, and a couple of teams kind of asked me certain questions, and I always said, listen, my focus, if I ever was a manager, wouldn't be on wins and losses as far as telling my team this. My focus would be on playing the game the right way and making sure we catch the ball, pitch well, and hit well, right? Put ourselves in position to win ball games, because if we do that, if we consistently do that, play great baseball, we're going to win a lot of ball games.
Jerry, I think what I hear you saying, not a lot is said, but I think a lot is understood in that clubhouse, correct?
100%. Hey, listen, you know what your job is. When you get to the big leagues, you're there to win. You're not there to develop. You're not there to compete. You're there to win. And certainly the Dodgers understand. The D-backs understand that. So you got to make sure you do your job. If everybody does their job, you're going to put yourself and your team in position to win ball games.
Jerry, have a great weekend, buddy. Appreciate you as always. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Anytime, guys. And we're looking for a win, so if you guys can allow us to win tonight, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll get right on that there, Dodger Jerry. Come on. Hey, there hasn't been a lot of things to root for here lately, so let us have a little fun with this wild card, all right, Jerry?
It'll be a slobber knocker. Like we say in football, Jerry, it could be a little slobber knocker, knockdown, drag-out series, buddy.
It's going to be fun. I'd love series like this. I'd love when D-backs, San Diego, even the Giants, I'd love when they're good, because it makes baseball so much fun, man. The trash talk, as you guys know, I live in Arizona. The trash talk I get from D-backs fans when they're good at the gym at Lifetime is awesome. And I welcome it. And it's great for the game. It's great for Arizona, man. And it's great for baseball, man. It's good to have competitive teams, and that's what we want as a former player.
Did you just get another year membership by mentioning Lifetime?
I hope so. It's in North Scottsdale, off Mayo.
I know
Love
it
that
well.
place. Love it.
Thank you, buddy. That's good stuff. Jerry Hairston Jr., of course, joining us here to talk some Dodgers as they are in town. And you can follow him on his social media. Just look up the real Jay Hair. All right, what grade are you giving Carson Beck after last night? 15 to 19, 188 yards, a touchdown. Sure, looked like an A, but it was August. It was August football against Carolina backup, so we're going to get into that. And we're going to head north. The Kyler Watch. K2's You know, K2, he's wearing purple now, while in Arizona, and Arizona's still splitting the bill. So we'll check on the little fella. That's coming up next.
When it comes to sushi, reputation matters, and Sushi Brokers Arcadia has built theirs on being the best sushi in Arizona. From traditional rolls to bold fusion creations, like our crowd favorite, Seafood Dynamite, and the must-try sushi pizza. We've got something for everyone. Our famous happy hour is every day from 3 to 6:30 with fresh favorites like the California roll, spicy tuna roll, and the surf and turf roll, topped with seared steak. Sushi Brokers Arcadia, 44th Street in Indian School.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Ride Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Ride Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, or shop anytime at ridehonda.com. That's ridehonda.com, where Arizona drives. Right Honda.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof. Hey, Arizona State football fans, London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil Ticket Office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Are you looking for career opportunities with great benefits and job growth? How about the chance to make an impact? What we do here at the City of Phoenix matters. 14,000 employees and counting, all dedicated to making a difference in the communities where they live, work, and play. So come join us. Help us do work that makes Phoenix work. You can see all open positions and apply at phoenix.gov/jobs. This message is sponsored by the City of Phoenix.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Right Toyota on this day report. Right Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota in Scottsdale.
All right, Wade Boggs became the first player ever to hit 3,000 hits with a home run in a ridiculous single day back in 2016. Ichiro triples for hit number 3,000. Jimmy Furyk shoots the first 58 in PGA Tour history, and Michael Phelps wins the gold medal, number 19 in Rio. So there you have it. On this day, one other small note, Bill Parcells coached his first game for the New York Giants. It was a preseason win over the Jets. So every legend starts in August. Back.
There you go. A little
about that.
Yeah, you never know. Stranger things have happened. They got to start somewhere, right?
They're strange. In 76, one last one, the Cards go to Tokyo.
How about that?
Yeah. It was the Cardinals franchise. It was St. Louis, Cardiac Cards, Don Corral, coming off of back-to-back division titles, flew to Japan to meet the San Diego Chargers in Tokyo, what was remembered as the first NFL game ever played in Japan. Of course, it was a preseason exhibition game halfway around the world. But back then, a pretty big deal. Yeah. 1976.
I remember a lot of teams started to filter over to Japan. I know Denver went over there one preseason. And they'd already had I think they had the World League going, or the European League, not long after that. So the whole international thing, at least preseason game, or a complete league in Europe started up. But, yeah, there's a couple teams over to Japan and started exposing our American football to the Japanese.
All right, let's get to football at 50. What grade do you give the Cards? quarterback person back after last night, A, B, C, or D. And a case for A, I'll go through them. 15-19, 188 yard to score, a 125-plus rating, poised to the pocket, 49-yard dime to Brooks, fade to the tight end. Looks good. Case for B, great night against Carolina's second and third string defense in a game where both teams sat everyone. Grade the tape, not the opponent. A C or lower, arm strength questions didn't disappear, even though the deep ball at Brooks kind of drifted, right? One August night doesn't erase why he fell to round 3. And I don't think you can give him a D. I don't even think you can give him a D.
Yeah, I give him an A because of how he ran the team. Not so much you playing against second, third teamers. I think it's, you mentioned 15 or 19, very accurate. Throwing the ball down the field. You also mentioned that nice couple throws to Brooks down the field. You saw that on that one to Jalen Brooks, and then you saw a couple others. Harrison Wallace the third. You got that kid involved. And the thing is, he spread the football around. He read the defense. He didn't telegraph anything. Got the ball out. Smart decisions. You had a running back being released out of the backfield, out on the 5-yard line. It was covered. He felt pressure. He threw it away. Not only did he throw it away at the feet of the running back so it wouldn't be grounding. So I give him a lot of credit for thinking that through. I thought he was mentally prepared. I thought all the throws he made were damn good throws. He got his shoulders around. His footwork was good. And he didn't turn the football over. The other thing, he didn't force any issues. And, I know it's a cliche. He took a lot of the routes that were given to him, but he did read that defense that was out there. So for the second, third teamers and free agents that he played against, I'm going to give him an A. Not so much from the physical side, Rock, but from the mental side I saw in him last night's game.
Yeah, I think no question give him an A. And if anything, the game was entertaining for a preseason game. And watching him was fun. It was like finally something positive to talk about. Granted, we know what it was, but at the same time, hey, I'll take that rather than if he came and laid an egg and it was horrible and threw 2 picks. I mean, it was complete opposite, and maybe he is the future.
It's interesting because even Mike Tirico and Chris Collins said that was the most entertaining. I mean, and they said it in their own way, not to demean the Hall of Fame game, but they said this is a very entertaining game. I mean, 17-17 at halftime. You had 6 possessions, 6 scores, whether they're field goals or scoring, and you walked away going, hey, at least, these backups that are playing against each other, they looked organized. They looked on par. You had a decent running game. The passes were pretty crisp and clean. Really only 1 interception. There went 1 turnover the entire game, and that was by the Panthers. So, and I think the first flag came either on the last drive or the first drive of the second half. It was the cleanest, most entertaining Hall of Fame game. I've been watching them since the early 70s that I've ever seen as far as guys being productive and executing the way they're supposed to execute.
All right, let's head up north for the Kyler watch. Laz, let's get started with you the first of the year.
Let's head north for the Kyler watch. K2's in purple now, making the minimum in Minnesota. But the Cardinals are still paying him $36 million to play for somebody else. Bundle up. Here's the latest on the little fella.
All right. So we're going to have fun with Kyler this year. We don't know what this Cardinal team's going to turn out, but, Kevin O'Connell, the head coach for the Vikings, says he's playing it safe, calling it an open competition with J.J. McCarthy. But if you look closely at practice, I kind of went to the Twin Cities and pulled some info, and the separation is screaming as just days ago on 11-on-11 work, Kyler had 73 snaps to McCarthy's 38. Even when total snaps are even, Kyler is getting the overwhelming majority of the first team reps, and the connection with him and Justin Jefferson, they're saying it's just electric. He's dropping absolute perfect dimes on the sideline. He's got, of course, that veteran touch, as people say. He's got a little bit of speed, so he's playing pretty well right now. And of course, love some of the national media have dropped him to 23rd overall in NFL quarterback tier rankings, which is a career low for him. Some feel that he's broken. He's clearly overpaid, and he's done. But I think the Vikings are taking a fly on him. They got to steal the century if he does perform. With a no tag clause slipped into that contract, Kyler has the maximum leverage to ball out and then enter the free agency next year and force someone to hand him a massive bag. So right now, Arizona's paying the bills, but Kyler is about to get his revenge on a heavy discount.
Yeah, what they're saying is that Kyler has a slight edge over J.J. McCarthy. And I've seen this picture before. He's a great front runner up front, getting himself ready for the season. Let's see what happens if he's a starter about 4 or 5 or 6 games in. Hey, I wish nothing but the best. But you know what? I've seen this movie before.
All right, coming up, IndyCar coming back to Avondale. Matt Ishbia, his mortgage company, just took a nearly $500 million hit. The NHL is looking hard at Houston and Austin, and Akron may have come up with the best ticket promotion in college football. I did some surfing, so you don't have to. The Extra Page is next with Roc Manuch and Jimmy B from Wright Toyota.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com. Or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Think you can handle a few drinks and still drive safely? Think again. Buzzed driving is drunk driving, and drunk driving can land you in serious trouble. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving. Even one drink can cost you thousands in fines and legal fees. Plus, take away your driver's license. So plan ahead. Use a designated driver or rideshare. Get the facts at drivesober.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620.
Let's check the feed. They're scrolling so you don't have to. Every sport, every story, everything blowing up online right now. The highlights, the hot takes, the viral moments, the stuff you're going to be talking about all day. It's all coming across the feed. Here's what's buzzing in the sports world. Let's dig in.
All right, ESPN.com, ArizonaSports.com, AC Central. They do a great job giving you the big stories of the day. And we're going to talk about those too. But let me do a little bit more of the lifting for you. I spend way too much time surfing and digging into these different types of sites that, Manuch is right now, ESPN.com. He does what everybody else does in the world.
Not everybody.
Yeah, dude, everybody's
I've got other
ESPN.com.
sites.
That's all you ever do. So I got the weird ones, some of the business stories, the media stuff, stories behind the stuff, right? So it's kind of fun stuff. But I just want to start local real quick. You may have missed it. Phoenix Raceway has its 2027 dates out, and IndyCar is coming back again, March 12th through the 14th. So IndyCar and NASCAR O'Reilly Series, they will share Saturday, March 13th, the Cup Series on Sunday. And this isn't complicated. It worked. IndyCar hadn't raced here since 2018. They came back this March. And they had about just over, 1.25 million people watched on Fox. So somebody looked at that and said, hey, yeah, let's do that again. And locally, that matters for us. It's great for our city. It's great for people coming into town, the hotel, the restaurants, the bars, money being spent in the West Valley. And IndyCar disappeared from Phoenix 7 years ago. So we got it now 2 years in a row. So that is a win. All right, completely separate from the Phoenix Suns, Matt Ishbia's mortgage company just had a rough week. UWM, which is United Wholesale Mortgage, reported a $451.9 million loss for second quarter. The stock got hammered yesterday. It dropped to an all-time low. They also suspended the company's dividend. Why? A huge part of the loss came from roughly $600 million that was tied to a hedge UWM made while it was trying to buy another mortgage company. The deal never happened, so Matt Ishbia is making another giant move. They announced a $2.05 billion capital raise involving Oak Tree Capital and Ishbia's own family investment group. So think about it. $2 billion coming into the company. Ishbia says he strengthened UWM and gives them even more room to grow. But Wall Street's reaction, not exactly a standing O. Here's why. This becomes a sports story, at least to me. Matt Ishbia isn't just some CEO from Michigan. Of course, he owns the Suns and the Mercury. He's been one of the most aggressive spending owners in sports since he got here. So when the business that he created, most of his wealth suddenly has a day like this, you're paying attention. And does it change anything for the Suns tomorrow? Probably not, but it's absolutely worth watching.
I think the thing is if you see that kind of losses on a consistent basis, then you kind of go, hey, Matt, everything okay over there? I mean, and it must be pretty decent.
I don't think he's having trouble paying his Cox bill.
No, I don't either. I mean, you see Dylan Brooks has signed his new 3-year extension to the tune of about, $23 million per year. But, I mean, these billionaires, it's amazing they could lose that much money. And then even though Wall Street might not so much frown on it, look at it, they still bring all that much money back in because they feel confident that he's going to be successful no matter what. You're going to have these I wouldn't say periodic. You're going to have these hiccups once in a great while, hopefully.
All right, Yotes fans, hockey fans in general, don't start ordering jerseys yet, but the NHL is looking for expansion, and right now the two cities that they are studying and where it looks like it's going, Houston and Austin. Now, important distinction, it's not necessarily Houston and Austin, it's Houston or Austin. Okay. So the NHL has entered a 6-month process. They're working with some billionaire, Dan Fraken's family, to figure out which Texas market makes the most sense to be the potential 33rd NHL franchise. Now, the estimated total investment is around $3.5 billion when you include the expansion fee and the new arena. Now, Arizona came up, so did Atlanta, and Gary Bettman basically said those two markets just aren't as far along as the ones I just mentioned, and that's where Phoenix sits today. So no NHL in this market still. But until somebody walks in, like a Matt Ishbia, and buys a team or brings in the team with the franchise fee as well as an arena somewhere, right now, Houston and Austin are ahead of us. So when somebody tells you the Coyotes are coming back, great. Show me a billionaire, show me a building, and then we can talk.
You know, I remember was it the Houston Aeros in the AHL many years ago.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that Gordie Howe finished his career with. I would think that might be the odds on. But then again, you got the Capital, you got Austin, you got quite that you've dropped in that San Antonio area, the they call it the Hills area as far as that's concerned. But I would think Houston would be the odds on. It would be the one that they lean to because there's legacy, there's history with Houston.
Remember the NBA investigation into Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers?
Yes.
Over that aspiration sponsorship?
Yeah.
Well, there's been a report that apparently he, that being Kawhi, had a multi-million-dollar sponsorship with Daxtronics. Daxtronics, they're a company that they do like the giant video billboards, and they do the one there in the Clippers arena. Here's the weird part. There appears to be almost no public evidence that Kawhi ever actually did anything for them. No big campaign, no commercials, no endorsement, yet he had a multi-million-dollar deal. Mm-hmm. So now there's the allegations. It hasn't been proven, but the NBA is already investigating the other Kawhi deal. Now you've got another mystery endorsement. So my question, I guess, is simple to you, Manuch. If you pay a guy millions of dollars to endorse your company,
right,
and he never seems to endorse your company, what exactly are you paying for then?
Well,
what are you paying for him?
That's a good question, and does the company? It's all about the company going, hey, look, he never endorsed us. We paid him all this money. I almost flex him. Well, whose fault is that? Why didn't you guys press him or get his agents or representatives to say, look, we've got all these things we want you to do. We need you to do them. And if you're not going to do them, then we'll sue you over the contract. Now, I know that this was that thing that was lingering, and I don't know how Adam Silver looks at this on the move to Toronto, but Toronto had to know that him going back there, that this was hanging over their head in reference to him going back to Toronto. So I don't know how the league can hold this up. And say, well, until he gets straight with this other company that it did absolutely nothing with. I would think that's between Kawhi and this company versus the Toronto Raptors say, hey, look, we're not going to hold this deal up until this is solved because they got a basketball season to move forward with. This thing may not be resolved for another 2 years. So I don't think Adam Silver will hold that deal up in the trade for what's going on off the court.
All right, the University of Akron, the Zips, in a Mid-American Conference, needed to sell football tickets. Nobody was going to games. And they said, hey, free T-shirts aren't working, the whole 9 yards. So
giveaways.
Here's their promotion. This is brilliant. Their marketing guy, their AD, whoever it is. Buy season tickets, and you get to help script Akron's opening drive.
Oh, my goodness.
Not Madden, not fantasy, actual college football game. The winner gets to work with their head coach, Joe Moorhead, help put together the opening drive against Robert Morris on September 12th. This thing's exploded. McAfee's on it. Big Cat's on it. Bobby Bones is on it. Akron said that they believe that was their biggest ticket sales day in school history. Their suites sold out for the first time the stadium opened in 2009. They've already sold twice as many Loge tickets as they did last year. This is absolutely brilliant because Akron didn't suddenly get better at football overnight. They just gave fans something that no one else is doing. So you spent your whole life, your entire life, yelling at that OC, that offensive coordinator. Now you have your chance. I know it's a chance, but I think it's a great idea. I think I can see ASU doing it against Morgan State, whoever they're opening up against, and why not? You get to sit with the coach and get to break it all out, and no one's going to know what the play call is, and it's going to be legit.
Well, this is when the AD goes to the head coach and says, "Hey, coach, we need you to take one for the team, take one for the program."
And he probably had no problem.
You're going to sit down with one of our winner and basically give them like 15 plays and kind of hint to them like, hey, look, these 15 plays and the 15 plays that he's going to give this individual to take a look at, they will be okay with either one of them because it's scripted, and they'll be able to just basically say, okay, we'll do that. They're not going to give them the playbook and say, hey, look, go to this play or that play, they'll have them scripted. Now, they might say, hey, look, here's the 15 or 20 we recommend, season ticket holder. What would you like to start with? What are the 5 or 6 plays you like to start with? And they'll be totally comfortable with it. But to your point, yeah, it's kind of exciting to say, hey, look, that one play, that opening game, that bomb, I called that play.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's great. Clay Travis from Outkick put up $10 million for the defending WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces to play an elite boys high school basketball team. Aces win, they get the $10 million. Boys win, they split the $10 million. No game has been agreed upon yet, and honestly, the game almost doesn't matter. It's the argument that is the story. Would the best WNBA team beat an elite boys high school team? And the better question here is, if you're the WNBA, why would you ever take this game? If you win, everybody says you were supposed to. But if you lose, you will hear about this for the next 300 years. $10 million sounds great. That downsize does not.
That would be interesting to watch. I mean,
I love it.
I'd love watching that game. Those juniors and seniors in high school varsity team versus the best of the best. It'd be a very challenging game. You'd have to see
I love it.
The rebounding down low and how well the teams would run against the defenses in the WNBA.
All right, last one. Live Golf apparently is going to be 2.0 as they're trying to reinvent themselves. Their CEO says they got an agreement with a new lead investor. Players would become majority equity holders. They are calling it Live 2.0, and the reports have some new money, somewhere around 250 to 300 million. That sounds enormous, doesn't it? But if you remember, the Saudi Public Investment Fund reportedly dumped billions into this thing to get it off the ground. Now they're trying to just replace it with some other investors and see if they can turn it around. The game will probably be the same players. I mean, they still have some giant player obligations that are sitting out there with John Rahm and DeChambeau, all those contracts. That's why I'm watching. I mean, Liv proved that they can create a golf league if somebody is willing to spend the money, the unlimited money. So now we'll find out if they can actually turn it into a business. But
I guess
we'll watch out.
My question would be, Roc, what's the return on investment? What's the motivation to go ahead and put, I think sometimes, good money on top of bad with the way the product has been? Now, I've watched a couple of them, which are interesting, but I'm just like, this thing's going nowhere fast. So I guess
enjoy watching it. I don't promise. Well, a lot of great golfers, and I like the fact that they can wear shorts. I don't like the fact they only play 3 rounds. They got different rules, but it's still a good product.
Yeah, if I'm going to invest, I want to know what kind of return I'm going to get. So,
all right,
make it work.
The D-backs settle for a split with San Diego, but don't let last night's loss kill the vibe. Here come the Dodgers. So, what are we looking to happen this weekend? We will get into that next. It's D-backs Dodgers at Chase from Wright Toyota.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com. or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Join the team at All City Towing.
Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Driving high can get you a DUI. Instead of getting behind the wheel, designate a sober driver or rideshare. In Arizona, drug-impaired driving is illegal, even if the drug is legal. So drive sober or not at all. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving, since drugs slow your reaction time and cloud your judgment. If you feel different, you drive different. Visit drivesober.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
When I grow up, I want to be a ballerina. Because dancing makes me happy. I get to entertain people, and nothing makes me feel more like me.
PI, a defect of the immune system, affects millions of children. Early and accurate diagnosis and treatment give children like Olivia a chance to achieve their dreams.
It takes a great team to put on a show. It also takes a great team of caring people to keep a dream alive. And now my dreams are coming true.
For more information, visit the Jeffrey Modell Foundation at info4pi.org.
And the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
A little bit, and that's what this game's all about. Who's going to step up, who's going to block out all the noise and go out there and execute. It's no mystery. You guys know that Michael Soroka's coming back here pretty soon. They know it too. So that's a beautiful part of the game. Who can get it done and who won't.
Troy Lavello, after what he saw over the last few days, split with San Diego. So now they turn their attention to the Dodgers as the rivalry, the NL West rivalry, resumes tonight. And they're perfectly deadlocked at 5-5. Very interesting that the same applies to the San Diego Padres, as they are deadlocked split. So I believe the last series of the season is with San Diego, and it could come down to that last week when it comes to this wild card. It could be like a mini playoff with the Padres when the season comes to an end.
Yeah, very much so, unless the Diamondbacks have a better record at that particular time. Within your division, if it's all even at the very end of the year, it's who's got the better record within the division. But you're right. This San Diego series, going back and forth, as far as tiebreaker concerned, may come down to that final week. Dodgers coming in town, losing 8 out of the last 10. They've lost 6 in a row. And as we had Jerry Hairston Jr. on a little bit earlier, does a pre and post game for the LA Dodgers Spectrum Sports Network. They're scuffling. The catchers, both their catchers are hurt. They got an Italian kid, Fanucci or something like that, that's now catching. But yeah, this is a time, if you got a team that's down, take advantage of it. But this will, both teams, the Dodgers not liking getting swept right before the All-Star break. The Diamondbacks feeling pretty good as far as scoring runs. They just got to pretty much solidify their starters. Get Kelly on the bump tonight after a rough outing last time, a loss last time. And then Fott, who basically, Fott's your best pitcher right now as far as what he's 6-1. Could easily be 7-0 since he came back from Reno. And then Erod looked to bounce back after the horrible outing he had the other day. And it will help get Soroka back in the rotation if he's ready. And I'm just very interested to see if they replace him with Brott or they put him in there on the very back end where Drake is at right now. So good news as far as Soroka coming back. How many innings he pitches, what kind of pitch count they put him on. But it will be good to get that veteran pitcher back in this rotation.
So Kelly tonight, as you mentioned, the Dodgers are in a massive slump, having dropped 8 of their last 10 consecutive sweeps from Boston and Chicago. And then, of course, Arizona, we know about where they're at, winning 15 of their last 22 heading into this week. But the Dodgers, they remain favored in this series, at least tonight, as Diamondbacks sit as a home underdog in this one. And the over-under, ironically, is set pretty high, at like a 9.5 when it comes to runs. We'll talk some more gambling with Scott Spreitzer here in just a few minutes. But, this is great. I hope that we will see more D-backs fans in the stands. As, when the Dodgers come into town, they kind of take over Chase. And they have been for so many years. And I don't know if that'll ever change, but they clearly are the number one opponent that fills that stadium. It could, even when the Yankees or Red Sox or Cubs, it's still Dodgers. They always had the edge when it comes to showing up. So a lot of D-back fans selling those season tickets to Dodger fans.
Yeah, motivate the Diamondbacks even more to beat their butts. They go ahead and take 2 out of 3. And at this point in time, it's just, taking the series before you move on to Colorado with the rest of the season. So this will be a fun series. You got, as I mentioned, the Dodgers are a little fired up for getting swept. The Diamondbacks are feeling pretty good about, scoring runs. And right now being in third place, they've got that third wild card spot all to themselves. So I think that this will be one of those series, a playoff type atmosphere. You mentioned a lot of Dodger fans, a lot of Diamondback fans, and those players in that clubhouse for the Diamondback, they're very aware of who's shown up and who's not. But this will be another good litmus test after splitting with the Padres to take on this Dodger team that's going to be a little fired up and going to try to correct a lot of the wrongs and make them rights that they've had those last 6 to 8 games.
So the Dodgers manager, Dave Roberts, he told some reporters, I think it was either last night or today, they were off yesterday, that he's looking forward to playing the D-backs and taking care of business. So they're looking at this team as an opportunity to kind of break the streak. And, rightfully so. You caught a Boston team that's just one of the hottest teams in baseball. And then Cubs have been playing great, too. D-backs have been playing well, too. Not quite to the same level as Chicago and Boston, but pretty much pretty good, too. So I don't know if Dave better be careful what he's saying there because that could go back to bite him in the ass.
Well, the one thing is that the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers and Diamondbacks are struggling in the runners in scoring position category. Both teams, as far as lack of clutch hitting, those are some of the things that will win these games. Moving players over, getting that guy at second base with 1 out, get him to third, and try to get those runs scored. And, you looked at last night, you had bases loaded, and you get absolutely nothing out of it. There was 1 out, bases loaded, and you can't drive in any of the runs. So this is where that focus where your guys in that lineup, especially those guys in that lineup in the bottom part, and they've been doing I will say this, Roc, the last week or so, the bottom half has done fairly well, but the last night they struggled. You look at this team, I think they had just 3 hits from the 5th batter on, 6th batter on to number 9. So, those are some of the things I think Torrey would like to get more on a consistent basis. Newt Barr's played, 3 games in a row. He was only 1 for 4. The guy that's just on fire and continues to be on fire, number 1 catcher in the league, Gabby Moreno, he's 3 for 4. He's now hitting over 300. And it wasn't a month ago. I think he was at about 225 or 230. He's been one of the hottest, not only catchers, but hottest players as far as hitting these last 3 weeks of Major League Baseball. So Perdomo leading off, Carroll second, Moreno, and they moved. One thing consistently wise is they kept Marte at that leadoff, at that cleanup spot, and Arenado's been moved down to the 7 hole. He's interesting. He's been the 6-7 hole, but once again, he just hasn't come through as far as clutch hitting is concerned at either spot, either 6 or 7 hole.
So Ryan Thompson, he's on the 15-day IL. He's got the strained lower back. They recalled lefty Philip Abner. Gabby Moreno was also reinstated from paternity list, and Del Castillo, he was optioned to Reno. So Thompson has struggled badly,
Yes, he has.
and especially in July, over a 9 ERA in just 10 innings. So not good there, but just something to note in regards to Thompson on the 15-day.
Yeah, and Abner struggled last night. He comes in and he gives up the 4 hits and a couple runs. Bringing a guy up or activating him and throwing him into the fold. So I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we get to the first week of September, Roc. I would think that everything will be pretty much settled down or settled with this team, and hopefully they'll have that roster that can carry them through all the month of September and hopefully get them into that 3rd spot of the wild card.
Hey, we have teamed up with Biggs American Bar and Grill in Peoria for Monday Night Football once again. An opportunity to roll for dough for $25,000. It was $10,000 last year. We stepped it up to $25,000. So they got preseason action going there, and perfect place to host your fantasy football draft. It's all happening Biggs, just off the 101 on 83rd Avenue in Bell. You can hit them up at BiggsPeoria.com. We have also with them, today's the last day for your chance to win the brand new Roc and Manuch Jimmy B Bluetooth speaker and a $100 Biggs American Bar and Grill gift card. All you got to do is text ESPN to 59925. That's ESPN to 59925. Standard message and data rates do apply, and that's Biggs American Bar and Grill. Where the food's hot, the beer's cold, and sports fans call it home. All right, we will get into some gambling for you degenerates. I'm one of them, as preseason week 1 arrives next Thursday, and it's a 6-game night. So Lions and Bengals and Packers and Steelers. Cards will be in Las Vegas to play the Raiders, and all at 5 o'clock. So what do the Sharps actually do with August football? One of the top handicappers in the United States, Scott Spreitzer, has been with us for almost 20 years from DocSports.com. He will join us live from Vegas next. But here's Laz with an ESPN Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped the series finale to the Padres yesterday, settling for a split in the 4-game set from Chase Field. But it doesn't get any easier from here, as Arizona now welcomes the 2-time World Series champs, the Los Angeles Dodgers, to town for another crucial weekend series. And last night, the NFL preseason officially got underway as the Cardinals fell to the Panthers 33-30 in the Hall of Fame game. But despite the loss, rookie quarterback Carson Beck impressed in his debut, completing 15 of 19 passes for 188 yards and a touchdown. Football season starts at Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Get your league together and host your fantasy football draft party at your local Twin Peaks. The commissioners will receive a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Enjoy cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs, and everything you need for the perfect draft day.
Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Nobody. Whatever you're craving, we've got it. Tequila cocktails, premium bourbon pours, and top-shelf spirits served over ice balls that hit just right. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails, yep, all here. And with 5 Valley locations. And don't forget the teeth-chattering 29-degree drafts we're famous for. Pair it all with scratch kitchen bites that actually satisfy. From shareables to hearty favorites. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
Lace up for a great cause. Join the 33rd Annual Frank Cush Youth Foundation Running for the Broads on Saturday, October 10th at Tempe Beach Park during the Four Peaks Oktoberfest. Every step helps support youth athletics, including girls flag football, Lady Hawk softball, the Frank Cush Scholarship at ASU, Tempe Sister Cities, and kids throughout our community. Register, donate, or volunteer today at Oktoberfest.run. That's Oktoberfest.run. Run, give back, make a difference.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerman Rowe, and we've been serving Arizona's for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerman Rowe, it's the way to go. On 977-1900. 977-1900.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Ship to the store or right to your door. Visit StayCool-Products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy, spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
Attention all Arizona workers. You may be entitled to receive earned paid sick time. Every Arizona employer is responsible for keeping track of your hours and recording how much earned paid sick time is available under state law. Posters about paid sick time and minimum wage laws also need to be posted in every office. Get posters and learn more at azica.gov. That's azica.gov. This message is sponsored by the Industrial Commission of Arizona.
Now, sports gamblers, Scott Spreitzer, one of the leaders and most trusted names in the country. Nobody watches and studies games more than he does. From TalkSports.com, here's Scott Spreitzer, exclusively on with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
All right, last night's Hall of Fame game went 63 combined points and ended on a walk-off touchdown run, and he joins us now, of course, Scott Spreitzer, TalkSports.com. What does August football tell you right now, big fella? How do you handicap games where you don't know who's playing until like 90 minutes before the kickoff?
Yeah, that's like I said last week on the show. I just don't bet it like I used to, and I might have 3 or 4 bets this entire preseason when weeks 2 and 3 of the preseason I used to like for betting purposes better than weeks 1 and 2 of the regular season, because you used to get, a lot of guys who are going to play big roles during the regular season playing in either week 2 or week 3. But everything's changed with the 17th game being added in the regular season a couple years ago, and just kind of a new mindset. So you see backups like crazy. You see some starting quarterbacks, for instance, never taking a snap, throughout the entire preseason. So it's really different now, and I really limit my betting. And, I think what we learned last night, and this is not a shot, I think Haynes King is going to be a pretty nice backup quarterback in the NFL. And Carson Beck, listen, the guy knows how to read a defense, right? And make the passes where they belong. Of course, he was going against backups at defense, but you could see the guy, he's played at a high level of college football, whether it be Miami or Georgia, and faced a lot of all-star players throughout his college career to be ready last night. I'm kicking myself, guys, because I do a Thursday show in Las Vegas every Thursday, and they asked me what I thought about the game, and I said, you know what? If I had to play it, and I'm not going to play it, I think I'd have to take the over here. I think we got a couple of the quarterbacks who are going to air it out a little bit. You got a guy in Haynes King who could move out of the pocket when in trouble. And, of course, I didn't play it, as I said on the show yesterday, and you saw what happened. They almost doubled the total. So I just think it's better to, err on the side of caution nowadays in preseason football.
Scott, how important is knowing exactly how long a quarterback is expected to play? Can that information can change the bet for you?
Absolutely. There's been, preseason games where you'll hear one coach say he's going to play his starters for 3 or 4 series, maybe most of a first quarter, and his opposing coach is talking about playing his starters for a whole half, especially a quarterback. Or like it used to be in week 3, you don't see it as much now, but in week 3, just until a couple of years ago, you would hear a coach say, well, we're going to play our starters through the first series of the third quarter to give them that game feel of coming out of the locker room with another game plan for the second half. And then you would hear another coach on the other sideline saying, yeah, we're going to go about a quarter and a half with our starters. And, of course, behind the counter, the sports books, the bookies, they would, adjust the lines and stuff like that for that kind of information. But a lot of times they're putting out those numbers and those lines before that information comes out. And if you happen to catch it before they do, you can get value with that side. So it's all important. You just don't see those differences in coaching like we used to. I was looking at the slate of NFL coaches. There's half the league almost is coached by guys under 45 nowadays. It's pretty amazing to see the change in both the kind of guys that are getting hired as head coaches and the way they approach preseason football.
Scott, how about the history of a coach that, he plays the starters, he doesn't play his starters? Andy Reid he plays everybody early and often, then it kind of gives him that last week off. Sean McVay, he doesn't play any of his starters. So how vitally important is that when you guys look at the coaches who have a pattern or a history of playing their starters or not?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there are certain coaches over the years that have played to win, when it comes to preseason, other than usually, like you said, the final week of preseason football. And I look for that all the time. It's funny because you would see Patrick Mahomes, out on the field in a preseason game week after week playing deep into the game. And by deep, I'm saying relatively speaking, a lot of times through the first half, sometimes into the third quarter. I don't think you're going to see that out of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes now because of the injury last year. But, yeah, you do have to factor that in because some coaches want to win if they're keeping score. I don't think I mentioned this on last week's show. We were talking preseason football. I couldn't make it my biggest bet ever because they do put limits on preseason football betting. But if there were no limits, that first game that Steve Spurrier coached with Washington when they were then the Redskins, I can remember a month before the game, how are you going to approach preseason football, they asked him. And he said, and I won't do the accent, but he said, my daddy always told me if they're keeping score, you play to win. And I bet it for all I could, limits, of course, in place, and they won like 38-7 in the very first preseason game. So always looking for that. I mean, Zach Taylor has a horrible preseason record. He's like 4-14 straight up and against the spread. So you factor that in. Dave Canales, after last night, 0-7 against the spread, or now 1-6, I should say, against the spread with the Carolina Panthers with that last second win. So there are coaches who will look to win football games in preseason. There's some that you'll want to stay away from. I mean, John Harbaugh, you guys know about that. When he won about 3,000 games in a row and covered them all in preseason, he's now 47-17 as a coach in preseason football. So you got to pay attention to that stuff.
Scott, let me ask you, if you see a preseason line that maybe moves 2 or 3 points, do you chase it or you just kind of move on?
I got to get out in front of it, guys. If it's moved that much and I wasn't a part of the action, I usually look to see if there's a reason to play on the other team that was bet against and moved it, 2 or 3 points, and or I leave it alone. I try not to do anything like that because that's value being taken right off the table. There's a big line for preseason football, and you don't see these too much. But next week, you usually see games that are 1, 2, 2.5 points as far as the point spreads in preseason football. There's a game next Thursday, Detroit and Cincy, where the Bengals, they're laying as high as 4.5 points right now in that particular game. A lot of people don't think that the Lions are going to play, anybody who's significant. And Dan Campbell has a losing record. And, so people are looking to back the Cincinnati Bengals in that game. But like I just told you, you've got Zach Taylor who doesn't win preseason football games. So it's kind of one of those things where you just say, okay, that's right off my list. I'm not even touching that. I got one team who's probably not going to play its starters. I got another team with a coach who doesn't care about preseason football.
So where do you jump on a game like that? What is your philosophy with that? Would you go with the plus 4.5 with Detroit?
No,
or no,
right off the
You're
schedule.
Go with I
just go right off. I just take it right off my potential bet. I just scratch it. I'm not going to take Zach Taylor, who doesn't win in preseason, and I'm not going to take his opponent, Detroit, who is probably not going to play any starters at any length of time at all. Now, if we find out Tuesday or Wednesday that, Dan Campbell, the alpha dog of coaching, all of a sudden says, I want to play my starting quarterback and starters into the second quarter, I'm probably jumping on a first-half line with the Detroit Lions in that case.
Is live betting maybe a better way to attack preseason?
It depends.
You actually see who's playing and you dive in?
Yeah, but the limits are so low it makes it really tough. I mean, they're really, really tight, state of Nevada, when it comes to, being able to bet preseason football. Your limits are way lower. And, like last night I saw guys jumping in. They had that outburst of scoring in the second quarter, and I saw guys jumping in and betting under 50.5 for the game. They got burned. So I'm real careful about betting in-game on preseason football. What you're saying is totally logical and makes sense. But a lot of times in the NFL, making sense and using logic doesn't get you the W, unfortunately. But, yeah, last night I saw guys jumping in, under 50. They're not going to score like this in the second half, and you saw them continue to put up points until they got over 60.
So it's got a lot of teams going into a lot of bettors, I should say, looking at win totals for the teams this year. We had Mitch Holthus on, the play-by-play voice of the Chiefs. And not that they're resurrecting the team, but Mahomes looks like he's going to be back, maybe. But when we look at the Chiefs, Bears and Cowboys specifically, Bears and Cowboys, can they ever get off the schneid? So looking at those three, let's start with the Chiefs. For a lot of the Chiefs fans that are here locally, what do you think as far as win totals are concerned?
Yeah, they're looking at right now 10.5 for the most part with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I actually moved it down a little and then bet it over because I think KC is going to win 11 games this year. So 10.5 and 11, not a lot of cushion there. I moved it down to 9.5, which you can bet alternate wins totals. You can go to your book and, for instance, the over/under's 10.5 plus $1.15 if you like that over. I made it 9.5 over minus $1.60, so I'm laying more of a price. But I think KC gets to 11, and I wanted a little bit more of a cushion. They've got a late season 3-game road stretch that could be a murderer's row. But I like the moves in the offseason. Obviously, Kenneth Walker in the backfield is a big upgrade over Isaiah Pacheco. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Mahomes expected to be healthy when the season begins, healthy right now. They shored up those offensive line issues. They were the 25th ranked rush offense last year. So you got Walker. You got a nice offensive line now to protect him and open holes and also protect Mahomes better. And the defense is still coached by Spags, and only 5 teams allowed fewer points per game last year than did KC. The schedule, if you based on opponents' wins totals for the upcoming season, they do play a bit softer schedule. They play what's thought to be the softest schedule in the AFC West. Now, again, they've got a late season, second half of the season, 3-game road stretch that's going to be really tough. But finally, line value. 12 months ago, guys, going into last year, the Chiefs were minus $1.20 to win the AFC West, which means you had to lay 120 to win 100. Well, as of about a week ago, they were plus 180 to win that same division, healthier, better offensive line, better offensive backfield, still a good defense led by Spags, and you're getting a much better price. So I think plus $1.80 to win the West and over 9.5 wins is the way to go. At least that's what I did.
All right, Scott, last one, baseball. A Diamondbacks team that the last time they played the Dodgers, they swept them. A Dodger team that's lost 6 in a row. A Dodger team that's coming into Chase Field tonight. Diamondbacks are underdogs. How are you handicapping a game like this?
Big underdogs too, and by the way, the Dodgers were outscored 42-22 during that 6-game losing stretch. 7 to less than 4 runs per game, and you got Arizona's 33-24 at home, not bad. So they're big favorites today, laying about $1.75. They're a huge series favorite of minus 250. The Dodgers. The problem for me is Merrill Kelly, and I was looking to bet Arizona, but Kelly's had some ugly home starts this season, as you guys know, and he's not a big swing and miss pitcher. He's averaging less than 4 strikeouts per game, and Sasaki has been throwing his best stuff now. I mean, he's allowed 6 earned runs, 24 base runners in his last 4 starts, and he's lasted 6 innings per start. And, of course, again, the Dodgers have lost 6 in a row. He wasn't part of the losing streak. He didn't pitch any of those games, and they've won 5 straight Sasaki starts. I think they bounce back today, but boy, that's expensive at minus $1.75. I think the better play would be tomorrow. I'm sorry, I was just going to say tomorrow with Yamamoto and lay a run where you have to win by more than a run to win that game. I think Yamamoto's the way to go tomorrow.
Do you touch any of the over/under stuff like 9 runs kind of?
I do, but not a lot. I used to bet more. I used to play a lot of unders until they have the ghost runner at second base. And it's like, you get a 1-1 game going in the 10th inning, and you got under 9, and next thing you know, there's 8 runs scored in the 10th inning by each team, with that ghost runner at second. So what I do, and I don't do too many anymore, but when I play unders now, I base it completely on starting pitching, and I play the first 5 innings. I don't want to deal with extra innings. And we've seen so many games this year where you're just dead under. You're doing well. There's 4 runs on the board on a game with a 9.5 total. It goes to the 10th inning and the teams go over. So yeah, I just play first 5 innings. Haven't had any for the last, at least a week or so, and I don't have any today.
Love it, Scott. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Thanks for spending some time with us as you always do on Friday. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com. You can follow him on X at Scott Wins. Appreciate his time. By the way, speaking of gambling, Friday's Roc and Manuch with Charlie Ragle live at DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale. We're going to do a college football Arizona edition hour with Charlie from 2 to 3 each and every Friday. It's a Friday football lock-in is what we're calling it. You get Rocks cash. You got a $250 cash board where you come on down, you just pull out an envelope, and there's cash in it. We have weekend locks, so that'll be 1 to 4 every Friday from DraftKings TPC Scottsdale, so looking forward to that. Well, Cardinals gave us just about everything last night that we wanted except a win, as Carson Beck had a great night. We're going to talk about him, but Carolina did walk it off, and they did win. So what did we learn about Beck? Who else helped themselves, and what needs to be done before Vegas on Thursday? We'll get into that. Also, we'll talk a little bit more about number 11 as his Larry Fitzgerald gets into the hall tomorrow at Cannes. So the highs and lows and Fitz head into the hall next.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Ride Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Ride Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard or shop anytime at RightHonda.com. That's RightHonda.com, where Arizona drives. Right Honda.
Ball players, legends. One incredible weekend of golf. It's the MLB Retired Players Association Celebrity Classic, September 19th through the 21st at Ocotillo Golf Club in Chandler. Play around paired with an actual MLB player, plus swag, breakfast, and lunch while raising money for retired players, kids with autism through music movement, and ASU baseball scholarships. Foursomes are going fast. Register today at music-movement.org. That's music-movement.org. When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more. There's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
Forgot something inside or picking up food from the store? Never leave a child in a car. In Arizona, heat stroke can happen in seconds. Temperatures can rise 20 degrees in just 10 minutes, making a vehicle dangerously hot. Heat stroke can happen even in the shade or when it's below 60 degrees outside. Once you park, always remember to stop, look, and lock. Visit heatstroke.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Water is essential to life in Arizona. For decades, Arizonans have worked together to plan for life in the desert. Today, communities across the state continue to invest in conservation, infrastructure, and innovative water solutions to help ensure a reliable water future. We all have a role to play. By using water wisely and staying informed, we can help protect this vital resource for future generations. Learn more at phoenix.gov/water. Sponsored by the City of Phoenix Water Services Department.
It's Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street at Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
And a motion to the left, looking to the right, throwing the fade into the end zone. Simi Fehoko, the catch, toe taps the sideline. Cardinals touchdown. How about that? Simi Fehoko on the business end. Carson Beck put it right on the money. The accuracy, the anticipation, and that converts into a touchdown, and Cardinals 6 points.
Good job, Calvisi.
Attaboy Paul.
As Haynes King ends up winning the game for Carolina. The 5-yard TD run as time expired. He looked good, man. I know this is all about Carson Beck today, but afterwards talking to him, or not talking to him, hearing his presser, it just was like, man, you like the kid. And he could be somebody that could stick around, an undrafted rookie and from Georgia Tech. So good stuff there. But some numbers for you. Beck 15 of 19, 188 yards. He got a touchdown. You just heard it. He did get sacked once. Quarterback rating of just over 125. He did have that 49-yard rope to Jalen Brooks, who, by the way, had 3 catches, 99 yards. Bam Knight ran 11 times for 56 yards. Keaton Slovis was in there. He did throw the go-ahead touchdown to Bryson Green with, just under 2 minutes left, which survived a replay before the walk-off. But next week, it's Raiders, 5 o'clock, and but that's old news. Larry Fitzgerald is going to be enshrined tomorrow. Class of 2026 should be a great one. Some good guys going in. I think it's pretty cool, and look forward to it. That's appointment television tomorrow.
You look at what Carson Beck did last night. I thought that pass, excellent throw, excellent touch, excellent timing to Fehoko for that touchdown. And a lot of the rollouts they had, he did a good job of getting his shoulders around, putting the ball in the money. The very first rollout, he throws back inside to the tight end. I thought he handled the game plan. His poise was good, reading the defense, putting the ball where he had to. That deep throw to Jalen Brooks you talked about. He had another deep throw. The only passes that he missed, he had one dropped, to tell you the truth. Otherwise, the kid is 16 for 19. But he putting the ball where he's supposed to. The timing was there. Passing the ball, throwing the ball in reference to, zipping it when he had to. But the accuracy, and then he had one out throw where he had to change his arm angle to drop his arm angle, kind of throw it sideways on an out route. Just his presence and his awareness of the pass rush. And on par, you can see a lot of blitzes by Carolina. The offensive line did a good job of keeping him off of Carson Beck. But he stepped up in the pocket a couple times, had some nice throws. He stepped up, had the one run. I don't know, what was he running for? He ran 10 yards. So you saw some athleticism. You saw him roll out. You saw him win in the pocket. You saw some nice touch passes. And I think you saw some smart play in reference to him throwing the ball away one time when there was nobody there down inside the 5-yard line. Throws the ball at the feet of the running back. No intentional grounding. Play was dead. He looked for another down. So those are some of the mental things you look at, and I think he handled very, very well, Roc.
He didn't look like a rookie, did he?
He did.
I mean,
he really did.
Again, 6 years, Georgia and Miami. We're going to catch up with former Georgia coach Jim Donnan here in about 8 minutes. So looking forward to catching up with Coach. He is Mr. SEC. So we'll catch up with him here in just a bit. But I am anxious to see how Minshew comes in and plays. Jacoby Brissett comes in and plays. I know it's preseason, but man, he's third-round pick. He's going to play.
Sure.
If there's an opportunity because of the team being so bad.
I think from here on, I think for the Raider game next week, you'll probably see the starters play a couple, 2-3 series. And then I would do this. I'd play the starters for a couple series.
Okay.
And then I'd put Carson Beck back in the game. I'd put him in there maybe beginning of the second quarter. Let him take the second, third quarter. Maybe put Slovis in there. You know what Gardner Minshew can do. Now, you'll eventually get him some reps. So then maybe what you do is you start in the third preseason game. You go ahead and you play Jacoby Brissett. And then maybe at that point you get Gardner Minshew to come in and take the second, third quarter, and then Beck take that fourth quarter. And then the very last preseason game, why not start Carson Beck with how about this, with the starting offense for a couple, 2-3 series. You can change them out, leave Carson back in there, and then allow he and Keaton Slovis to go ahead and run that very last game. Because I can guarantee you, if hardly any starters will play, but if there was a chance, a time where you could play Carson Beck with the starters for at least 2 or 3 series, would be that either the third preseason game or the last preseason game, because I can assure you that the opposing team in that third preseason game, they'll probably have most of their starters defensively. So that's where I think I want to see, how does Carson Beck react versus first teamers, especially in preseason, or some of those top-notch second teamers that he's going to play against when that speed's going to be amped up a little bit more so than it was last night.
I will tell you, I know it's only preseason, but it was a fun game to watch.
It sure was. Very entertaining.
I mean, after Haynes goes in there for the touchdown, you would have thought they won a regular season game or a playoff game where they just jumped on the kid.
Well, that's for a young man, as you mentioned, undrafted.
He may never play.
He may never play again.
It's kind of he may be the next Dan Manucci guy.
Well, he may be
preseason guy.
Maybe charting there for a while if he's got good penmanship. Yeah, I think that for Haynes and for Minshew, not Minshew, but for Haynes and for Beck, and even Keen Slovis, they really, it was well executed. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a Hall of Fame game.
You haven't.
Let me finish. I've seen a Hall of Fame game with that kind of execution, offense on both sides of the ball.
Usually they're just dogs.
Well, they're usually defensive
bad games.
Yeah, because the defenses typically have the edge. But you know what, Rock? You noticed. You could tell both teams didn't do a lot of hitting because it wasn't a real physical game. Now, the hit on Brooks when he caught that deep ball, the safety came over and gave him a little nice little pop.
That was a good pop.
He handled it. He was able to look at that, kind of defend himself, lower his shoulder. He took that pop from the safety. But it wasn't a real physical game, wasn't a real defensive game. And it was rushing 4. They might have rushed 5. But there wasn't hardly any blitzing going on one way or the other. It seemed as though it was kind of an uncommon, or I would say a mutual respect for each other. Hey, just play vanilla defense. Let's just get through this first one because we got 3 more games, that being the Panthers and the Cardinals for the preseason.
There was a little bit of a scuffle today with the Raiders as their camp got a little heated as Kirk Cousins and Max Crosby, they got in a scuffle. I guess Crosby hit Cousins' throwing arm twice during practice. And after the second one, Cousins confronted him, grabbed his jersey. Of course, obviously teammates and coaches quickly stepped in before it got out of hand.
Be careful, Kirk.
But
Be careful, Kirk. That's
like,
Max Crosby.
You don't want to mess with him.
He'll take you down in a heartbeat. And Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins showed a little emotion, huh, for getting hit. Well, I'm sure if he got hit the second time. First time, okay. Shame on me. Second time, shame on you. I could see him getting a little upset because Crosby probably could have held off. I'd have just said, hey, Max, relax. Just be careful because you got your starter. And we've seen that twice. We saw with Brock Purdy 5 years ago against your Eagles, that arm coming through and getting hit. And a UCLA blew out. He tore his UCL for that one. So how about that? Kirk Cousins showed a little emotion there in the Raiders camp.
Kind of like it.
The wrong guy to show emotion to, Max Crosby.
All right, one of the great offensive minds of his era, a national championship at Marshall, 5 bowl trips at Georgia. He's got a college football Hall of Fame plaque to show for it. Coach Manucci at K-State when he was the OC. Kickoff in college football is 3 weeks out. Coach Jim Donnan, the legendary Jim Donnan, will walk us through the SEC. Who's it built for? Who's fooled themselves? And what the 12-team playoff era has done to August expectations. So that's all coming up next in hour number 3 of Roc Manuch. Also get a little bit more into Carson Beck. And Charlie Ragle will join us, the former head coach and assistant coach at Arizona State. We'll join us too. So, got a lot to get into. It's hour number 3 from Wright Toyota. Roc Manuch with you today here on ESPN Radio P.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This summer, the honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich and pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you about the pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite. It's bright, it's bubbly, it's back.
The honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich, it's so rich, and you can choose between the original or the spicy filet.
Ooh, boy.
And then you got those pickled jalapenos tucked right under the filet, and then just to top it all off, you've got a little honey drizzle right on top.
Okay, now I'm a pimento fan.
And I'm feeling the dragon fruit.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more. There's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. Being in an auto accident is dramatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Hey, since you're already listening and you already know about it, why don't you tell a friend in Arizona that the all-new ESPN radio lineup can be heard right here. This is where Arizona connects to the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 620.
ESPN 620 AM. This is where Arizona connects with a worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 620. Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN 620. Is where you get America's biggest sports radio personalities. 620 AM is reborn as ESPN Phoenix. The biggest names in sports, from the athletes to the decision makers. ESPN Phoenix. ESPN Phoenix. 620 AM. Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street at Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
All right, out here right it's Roc and Manuch with you today. Jimmy B will be back on Monday. But always a treat for us to catch up with Jim Donnan, former coach at Marshall, Georgia, and Manucci. He's the National Football Foundation College Football Hall of Famer, and he joins us now here on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Coach Roc and Manuch, what's up, buddy?
How we doing, Coach D?
Glad to have you guys figure out I'm still alive. That's good. I'm ready to go.
Hey, I mean, Coach, Georgia's picked to win the SEC again. You know, when you look at Kirby's program now, is Georgia still the standard in this league? Is he still the standard?
You know, based on the last 2 years, even though we didn't do that well in the playoffs, I did win the SEC championship, and, you know, nobody else has really been quite as prevalent as us when you go back to the 2 daddies they won in a row. But was a down year, though, the fact you lost in the playoffs. And but as far as the standard, who knows anymore with NIL and transfer. But I will say this, we've got more players that have, you know, stayed here than we did the last couple of years. We've lost a lot of guys to the portal more because of playing time or lack of than we did for money. But we got a lot more seasoned depth and, you know, established quarterback. Probably the best team we've had since 22.
What does Kirby do, Coach Kirby, do better than everybody else in college football when it comes to, sustaining a program year after year after year?
Well, it all starts with acquisition of talent. There's no doubt about that. If you're going to have a good program, you got to have players. That's been forever, but he does a good job of developing, and he brought that Nick Saban mantra over here from what he learned from Nick as far as developing players and having good systems where the kids have a chance to go on to the league. We've had at least 10 guys drafted every year since about 2019, and incredulously, he's had more first-round draft choices, 21, than he's had losses as a head coach. So that pretty much sums it up.
Coach, with Lane Kiffin taking over, coming from Ole Miss to LSU, what's going to be his biggest challenge? Going from an Ole Miss to an LSU. I mean, is it standard? Is it expectations? Less wiggle room? What exactly is going to be for him as far as accountability is concerned there for the LSU Tigers?
Well, when you make a move and leave a team that's in the college football playoffs and go to another program for $13 million, you're going to be right out there in front pretty quickly. And of course, we've seen LSU different guys win the national championship. Over the past 25 years, a lot of different coaches have won there. Going back to Saban and and just going on through with Les Miles and Coach O, it's just a lot of pressure on him. But he certainly used the transfer portal. I think 40-some players, and your guy up there, Sam Levitt's going to be a big part of it. His health and his ability to learn Lane's and Charlie White's junior system. But as far as being accountable and all, he's going to have from the governor down. Looks like he got a lot of people involved in that program.
I think it's interesting. It's like all eyes on him. And then when the governor gets involved, to your point, but when you look at the SEC overall, Coach, very healthy. They haven't. You see the Big Ten, what they've done the last 3 years as far as the national title is concerned. What is it that the Big Ten and Indiana obviously beating Miami ACC team in the final last year, but if there is a shortcomings in the last couple times they've had a chance to win it all, Coach, what were those versus those Big Ten teams?
I think a couple things. Big Ten certainly has made a good move there with the 3 natties in a row, and they had some outstanding teams that were very veteran laden. When you looked at Michigan team, had so many seniors on it, and a lot of them went pro, and then they withstood some challenges with the NCAA with their coach and still won it. And then Ohio State just had a really great run there in the year before, and then last year Indiana proved that you can their team's 24, 25 years old. I mean, they got a lot of veteran players. So, but I think it's going to be a big deal for the SEC this year. Roc and Manuch going to the 9-game schedule. I mean, you add that extra game, that's 9 more losses this league's going to sustain. Six, half the teams, I guess there's 6 to 8 more losses. So with the way that they pick the champion teams to go in the championship, I mean, I don't know if 9-3 will get you there now.
Coach, Alabama picked 6 in the SEC. That seems a little strange to me.
Yeah, when you look at the last 20 years, the Alabama is just one of those teams right off the bat that you think top 5. But there's been a lot of comparisons of Nick Saban and all that thing, But the board's done some good things, but you just can't lose that many games at Alabama 2 years in a row and look as poorly as they have offensively. A lack of running game has just been, no running game at all. And so all these people around here that vote on the preseason polls are basing it, to me, a little bit more on what Alabama did the last 2 years and instead of what their potential is. They got some really good defensive players and really good offensive guys. You've got an unknown at quarterback, but we've got some outstanding quarterbacks coming back in this league. Arch Manning, the kid at Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss, and then Gunnar Stockton here, and you could go on and on. So I think the unknown at Alabama at quarterback and the lack of running game probably puts them there. But it'd be hard for me to pick them higher than 5th or 6th right now when you got a little bit of, you got Georgia and Texas, and then the next tier you got LSU and, some other teams. But Alabama right now is, as the old Southern statement, is living on Tulsa time, man. They got some severe pressure.
Coach, speaking of Trinidad Chambliss and watching that Ole Miss team and seeing Miami beat them in the semi, I really like watching Trinidad Chambliss. And you mentioned Gunnar Stockton, and you got Arch Manning, et cetera, et cetera. You got a good group of Gunnar Stockton, a good group of quarterbacks. I've had a chance to watch them all, but I was really impressed, Coach, with Trinidad Chambliss, where he moved the ball, where he ran, where he throw it. He's very, very poised. Now he's come back for his 5th year, 6th year. What is it about Chambliss that you like, being a former coordinator and quarterback coach, and what are some of the things that stick out for you?
Well, right off the bat, I think just the fact, the confidence level, Manuch, that he would leave a program like he was in up in a D2 or school that won the Natty and go into a situation at Ole Miss where he really wasn't picked to be the starting quarterback, and then he goes in there in fall camp and just wows them. So just the fact of belief in himself, you got to believe in yourself, and then the players kind of pick up on that. And then the fact he's just perfect for that system. They run a lot of RPOs. They run a lot of predetermined quarterback runs, and he's a great decision maker, and he can get you out of trouble. He's really got a lot better arm than people know, and he's extremely accurate. So you couple all those together with that system they're in, and they're hard to stop. Defensively, they're going to be. There's another team's got over 40 players that weren't there last year. So how they going to mix and move and go together? They got a good running back, Kewan Lacey, back, but Ole Miss is a tough out. I mean, you're going to have to score some points to beat them because they're going to put points on the board.
College Football Hall of Fame coach Jim Donnan joining us here, Roc and Manuch on ESPN Radio Phoenix. Coach, Lane Kiffin at LSU. What's harder at LSU, winning football games or managing everything that comes with that job?
Yeah, I mean, you could answer either way on that. I mean, it's definitely you're in. The thing about it, I mean, you certainly got Tulane and some other schools, but they really don't have a lot of competition for in-state players. Tulane's a private school, so right off the bat, most of those kids grow up wanting to go to LSU, and it's nothing like Tiger Stadium at night when they play those home games. I know when we used to play down there, I mean, it's really unbelievable going into the stadium there. I mean, you're on the bus, and they don't rock the bus, but they're close to it, and you got people mooning you and giving you the finger. I mean, it's nothing like it going in there, and those people juiced up all day, and it's a tough home game experience to try to win a game there. I know we beat them down there in '98 where Quincy Carter hit 15 straight, which that's hard to do in a Sears parking lot, but we beat them. But that's a really tough place to play, and I think Kiffin kind of embodies what they want to do, though. I mean, he doesn't mind saying what he thinks. He's very confident, and he's grown as a coach since he was at SC. I mean, he made some mistakes, but he had a tough road there. They were on probation and didn't have a lot of scholarships and, didn't make it as far as they wanted to. But I promise you, he's among the best coaches in the country. He's got a tremendous staff, and he got all the resources, as you mentioned. They're going to be, if not this year, I mean, they're going to be a team of the future in SEC, I think.
Speaking of another USC assistant, you got Sark down there at Texas with Arch Manning. Coach, is this the year that they finally have the breakthrough with all the hype? And speaking of resources, shoot, they've got all the money, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that, if they get the right coach at Texas, everybody else will be playing for second place. And Mac Brown did the job there. He won that championship and got there pretty close another year. And then Colt McCoy got hurt, and Alabama beat him in a championship game. But I think Sark has really done a great job of aligning his staff. He brought Will Muschamp in there to run the defense again. And, he knows the Kirby Smart mantra, and he coached for Nick Saban too. So their defense, even though it was good, it's going to be pretty. And then they spent an enormous amount of money for Cam Coleman wide receiver from Auburn that's going to help Arch out. Last year, some of their problems were pretty much like Alabama. They couldn't really run the ball effectively, and Arch didn't really get a lot of protection, but he played tremendous down the stretch. And I just think their schedule, we're going to find out pretty quick. That Ohio State game there and Austin's going to be, everybody in the country is going to be watching, and you, Roc and Manuch, you probably have a tailgate show there from that game. That's going to be one of the best ones in the country.
I'm doing Texas at Tennessee, Coach. I got that one on my agenda, and I got Ohio State hosting Oregon. So those are my two trips. One of the two that I'm looking at. The one I really want to go to, Coach, and you'll appreciate this: Ohio U opening up at Nebraska. What do you think about that? Go my Bobcats. I'm a Bobcat. We got a shot, Mid-American Conference, taking down the Huskers.
I've always liked Ohio U. I mean, when I was in Marshall, I always thought that was Jim Grove did a good job up there.
Yeah.
They get a lot of players in the state that, don't go to Ohio State, and got good support. And, the Texas Tech AD, Toby Hoke was up there, and he got it rolling too. I like their chances. I like their chances against Nebraska. Nebraska just keeps on living in 1980. I mean, they can't get over the hump, and I think the guy is really good. I call him the Socrates of football because he's got a lot of philosophy. But get some wins, man. Quit talking about it. Get some.
So, Coach, I mean, is it safe to say, Ohio U sleeping giant? I mean, can I go with sleeping giant, Coach?
Oh man,
sleeping giant there in Athens.
Yeah, I like the Bobcats. I like that green. I like their colors, and the fact that you've given them a lot of money, you're supplanting all that NIL stuff they're doing. And,
yeah.
But why don't you guys get a road show over here, man? I'd put you guys up and put you around here. I mean, the people be stacked up like club sandwiches wanting to see you. You can't
Coach, we love you, man.
Love you, Coach.
Thank you so much for some time. We look forward to getting going here this season.
We'll see you guys. Bye.
It's Coach Chip Donnan joining us. Great stuff. The Hall of Famer. Appreciate him taking some time. Man, Ohio U sleeping giant.
Sleeping giant. Great colors, great uniforms, great location.
That's amazing.
Sleeping giant.
Hey, they beat Rich Rod last year, West Virginia. I mean, West Virginia came into Athens.
How about Coach?
It holds like 15,000.
How about Coach Will Nebraska? He's got more philosophies than wins at that place. He's like Socrates.
Dude, he's got the best lines. I mean,
his quips and colloquialisms are the best.
You only got about another 45 minutes, and then we're gonna shut it down. But if you're standing on the grill this weekend, you got nothing going on, you want some music going, or you want to listen to ESPN Radio, Arizona Sports, you need the new Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B portable speaker. Plus, we're going to throw in a $100 gift card to Big's American Bar and Grill. So last chance to jump in, just text ESPN to 59925. That's ESPN to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. That's Big's, where the food's hot, the beer's cold, and sports fans call home. All right, coming up, I know it's preseason. I know it's one game, but Carson Beck got a lot of attention from a lot of people. We know the numbers. We'll dive into that. So what did we learn about Beck? Who else helped themselves? What didn't we like about the Cardinals last night? So some of the highs and lows and what really mattered. We'll dive into that coming up next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. You can hear us on ESPN Radio 620 on FM at 98.7 HD-2, YouTube, and the Arizona Sports app. We're also on TuneIn.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Hey, it's Jimmy B. Football season is here, and there's never been a better time to grow your business. Right now with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, with live endorsements, show sponsorships, featured segments, remote broadcasts, and so much more. YouTube, social media, and commercials, all built around your goals and your budget. Visit rocandmanuch.com and click advertise. Let's grow your business together.
Looking for a new ride? Make the right choice. Right Honda in Scottsdale. Whether you're shopping for a fuel-efficient Civic, a family-friendly CRV, the rugged Passport, or the all-new Accord, Right Honda has the selection, value, and customer service Arizona drivers trust. Plus, their experienced service team is here long after the sale. Visit the showroom on Scottsdale Road just south of Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard or shop anytime at righthonda.com. That's righthonda.com, where Arizona drives Right Honda.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy, spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
Psychosis can happen to anyone, and for many different reasons. Mental illness, trauma, stress, even marijuana use can play a role in developing first episode psychosis. If you start experiencing paranoia, hallucinations, or sudden changes in thinking and behavior, you are not alone. Treatment and clinical support is available across Arizona. Rediscover hope. Find help at learnmorefep.org. There is a future with psychosis. Sponsored by Matt Force, working to build healthier communities.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com, with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Friday, and the guys are live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the price. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
Two receivers to either side. Carson Beck taking his time. Snap, quick set, pump fake. Now he's going to go deep far sideline. Got a man who's got a step, and he's across the 40. Fury spilled. Jalen Brooks jumps up and signals first down. How about Beck baiting the corner with a head and shoulder fake and then delivering a strike down the far sideline?
WC with the call, Arizona Sports. You're home for the Arizona Cardinals last night, game 1 of the preseason. And we'll get going next Thursday with Vegas. But we kind of look at what we finally got to see, which was football. And the Hall of Fame game, of course, and the big story tomorrow with Larry Fitzgerald going in to the Hall. But we know it's August. Half the guys you're watching are fighting just to be on an NFL roster and see if they'll still be there a month from now. Cardinals fell 33-30 on a touchdown with no time left. But I think most of us came away last night with one pretty big takeaway. Carson Beck looked like he belonged. The third-round pick, we know that, on national TV. It's a pretty good start for him. The numbers, 15 of 19, 188 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, the 125 passing rating. And those numbers are great. But I think what we all saw that love football is a quarterback that looked comfortable. Ball came out on time. He was accurate. He didn't look like he was overwhelmed. He didn't spend the night running around trying to make some ridiculous highlight play like Kyler Murray. He just played quarterback. And that's probably the biggest compliment you could give a rookie in his first NFL game. He just played quarterback, and he looked good.
It was refreshing, right? I think managed the game well. Looked like he'd been there and done that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't look like it was too big. Like you mentioned, the moment was too big for him. Great job of recognizing, making a couple of tough throws. Nice little pump and go, as you mentioned, on that one throw here on the highlight to Brooks coming back. They did that a couple times. I'll give Nathaniel Hackett some credit in some of the play calling. He did that twice. They did the pump and go where Beck shook off the corner. Keaton Slovis did it the same way. And I thought that LaFleur and Hackett both did a very good job of the play calling for both quarterbacks. Now, especially for Carson Beck, you saw a lot of similarities with the LA Rams offense. A lot. That bootleg to the right or bootleg to the left, that rollout, running back comes underneath, goes from right to left, and the quarterback rolls out to the right. The tight end comes from the backside across his face, and he gives it to him. Couple of wrinkles where they came where the tight end hooked up on the inside. So he'd roll out all the way out to the right. Matter of fact, I think it was his first completion where he threw the ball back inside for a key third down. The other thing, too, that was impressive was that with the play calling and the pass completions, the receivers getting beyond the chains, they were 60% for third down conversions. Very rare you see 60% third down conversions in a preseason game, excuse me, let alone a regular game. And I think those are things that you look at. A couple things, ball placement. Where do you put the ball on that go route? I put it to the outside. Where do you put that ball on the dig route? Put it on the inside. So there's a lot of things you really liked about him being a quarterback, as to your point, Roc. He looked like he'd been there and done that. Yeah. And that's what you want, especially early on. And I think a lot of us expected some of that versus the second, third teamers, but they executed and they were successful in moving the ball down the field.
Yeah, and you can move over John Elway. I mean, that was the drive last night. That's what got my attention.
The drive.
96-yard touchdown drive, 13 plays. He's backed up near his own goal line, and he got everybody there. He converted. He was patient. And he finished with the 5-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, it was very nice.
A beauty.
And just a nice
Fejuco.
Yeah, the Fejuco. But, I mean, the play before that, you got to remember, he threw that ball away. There was nothing there. Play got blown up by the defense. He threw it away, threw it at the running back's feet. That was smart. He knew he had nothing. And they always teach you, live for another down. It's okay to throw it away.
You know, one thing we talked a lot about with Kyler, and it sucks that I can see, at least myself, ripping him for the next 6 months because he's getting paid $36 million from the Cardinals. So we can have some fun with that, right? But maturity level. Look at what you saw last night with Carson Beck on the field and off the field. What did he do when he went into his presser? He wore a number 11 jersey or a shirt, right, in the post game. No one else wears number 11.
Yeah,
and no one will ever wear number 11 for the Arizona Cardinals, but he did, and he was proud of it, and he represented this team like he was the starter in a way.
And it was cool to see a lot of the players wearing number 11 last night on the sideline, which is cool.
But a little bit different for him.
But I thought you're right, Roc. He was presentable.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be getting the coffee and donuts and right.
Didn't have the hat on backwards or any of that kind of. He was very
He's
presentable.
Articulate, the whole 9 yards. So good stuff there. But
it's a good start for Carson Beck.
Absolutely. All right, college football. It's almost here. So who better to get us ready than the guy who's actually been in those meeting rooms, on those sidelines, and he's been with Arizona. He's been with Arizona State. He knows the transfer portal. He knows it all. Former head coach Charlie Ragle will join us next right after the sports update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped the series finale to the Padres yesterday, settling for a split in the 4-game set at Chase Field. It doesn't get any easier from here as Arizona now welcomes the 2-time world champs in the Los Angeles Dodgers to town for another crucial weekend series. And last night, the NFL preseason officially got underway as the Cardinals fell to the Panthers 33-30 in the Hall of Fame game. But despite the loss, rookie quarterback Carson Beck impressed in his debut, completing 15 of 19 passes for 188 yards and a touchdown. Football season starts at Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Get your league together and host your fantasy football draft party at your local Twin Peaks, and commissioners will receive a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Enjoy cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs, and everything you need for the perfect draft day.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Ship to the store or right to your door. Visit StayCool-Products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat. Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Most pedestrian and bicycle crashes happen early morning or at night. The leading cause? Drivers failing to yield. Since 2010, traffic fatalities for people walking and biking have doubled in Arizona. So stay alert and watch for bicycles and pedestrians. There's no such thing as accidents. Learn more about the risks at azdot.gov/no-accidents. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
When tragedy strikes, the impact is immediate and devastating. That's when the 100 Club of Arizona steps in, providing financial assistance, guidance, and emotional support to the families of public safety officers injured or killed in the line of duty. They also invest in mental health resources, injury prevention, and scholarships for the children of first responders. Every day, Arizona's public safety professionals put their lives on the line. The 100 Club of Arizona has their back. Learn more at 100club.org.
Ball players, legends. One incredible weekend of golf.
Live from Wright Toyota, right on the corner, right on the front. Wright Toyota, located at 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale. Now back to the guys on ESPN 620.
Yeah, we're about to make an announcement. So it's pretty exciting for Friday's start football season. But,
Yes.
you know, we start at 1 and we end at 4. I mean, it's like when there's a time, if someone's supposed to be on at 3:30, They need to be there at 3:30.
Yeah, we're batting down big time.
And we're not off to a good start with our next guest, who's going to be part of this program on Fridays during the week, and he's been coming on with it for years. But Charlie Ragle, 3:30. It's go time. You're a coach. They come. You have to be there at like 2:25 or 3:25, 5 minutes before. Is that how it works?
Why are you late, Coach?
I was here 3:15, brushing up on my knowledge. Just sitting here as sharp as a tack.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, this isn't Eastern New Mexico University where you kind of waltzed on campus all over the place, okay?
Yeah, it was big.
Well, you still had to earn those stripes. You just couldn't waltz in right away. But at some point I was waltzing. I'm more waddling these days.
So we are excited to announce that Charlie Ragle will be joining us as Roc and Manuch with Charlie Ragle on Fridays from 2 to 3 at DraftKings TPC Scottsdale Sportsbook. And we are going to be doing an Arizona college football hour, and it'll be Arizona State, it'll be Arizona, it'll be NAU, and maybe Arizona Christian, whatever's going on. We'll bring in some high school football as well, but really the college is what we're looking at. Of course, Coach has been at Arizona State, he's been at Arizona, he knows the state better than anybody. Many years at Chaparral, winning state championships and all that good stuff. And we're really excited. Crest Insurance is on board to support the program, and we got a lot going on. So are you ready for the big time there, Charlie? This 15-minute deal that you've been doing, now you got to put in a whole hour of work here.
You can't screw up, Charlie.
Well, man, hey, careful what you wish for. I am more than excited and fired up to drop some hot takes and sharp opinions, and it's going to be a great year with you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and we're doing it. And just to persuade people to come down and see Charlie, we're doing this deal where you come on down to DraftKings, right? And there's going to be 21 envelopes, and in all those envelopes, there's cash. So we're gonna pay you to come down to see Charlie. So all you're gonna have to do is come down from 1 to 4 and pull out an envelope. It could be $100. It could be a $100 envelope. It could be a $1 envelope. It could be a $5 envelope. But there's some cash, real cash.
We're bribing people to come see you, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie, it's pretty big. So
hey, back in the day, they'd have probably showed up for free, but now you know what? We're gonna have to bribe them. But I'm gonna stick around, and we might even put a better 2 in there at DraftKings.
There you go. I like that. All right, Coach, here we are, weeks from kickoff. When you look at a team in August, what tells a coach what they really have, or if they're ready? Can you tell at a certain point, all the years you've been coaching, that you get to a certain point, here we are on the 7th of August, you're about a month away from kickoff, that you're ready or you're not ready?
Well, I think you used to be able to have a better gauge of it because, you had a lot of guys returning. You built guys up, you developed them, and I think now with the portal and NIL guys bouncing around, I think, and I think a lot of the coaches would agree with me. It's and everybody now with the roster set at the 105 mark, you're careful in the spring what you do. Spring games aren't what they are. Nobody wants to get on TV or show their spring games. Heck, places aren't, they're cornering off their games and don't want people to see them. Now you don't have to worry about that as much because there's no spring transfer portal. But and the difference between that and the NFL is there's no preseason games. So I don't think that you know quite what you did 6-7 years ago, if that makes sense. So I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions for these guys, and that's why they still play those early games against non-league opponents, and a lot of guys playing against the FCS. So I would say that it's a lot of times you go out there, we got an idea, but there's always that but in the back of your head. I know when we won the Big 12 there at ASU, we felt like we could be pretty good, but we went into that Wyoming game really 50 plus new guys, really not sure about how we were going to be, and so I think it's tough.
Coach, could you see a scenario? NIL and the money is so big, and you mentioned no preseason games for college, right? You have those scrimmages, but could you ever see a day where there could be a week where there is an exhibition game between two colleges just so they can make some money?
Oh yeah, I think it's coming. I think it's coming in probably the next 3 to 5 years for sure.
Yeah.
I think scrimmage, some sort of exhibition, like the NFL goes and they'll scrimmage 2 or 3 days, couple teams in camp. I think that's probably one of the next moves for college football for sure. I think you'll see that in the next 3 to 5 years.
Coach, and to your point, getting ready for for fall camp, and as you mentioned, spring football is so much different. You get to fall camp, so it seems as though like ASU's got Morgan State to start with, and then you got U of A, it's got NAU, to your point, playing those FCS schools to somewhat be your first scrimmage or first, game to just kind of get lathered up, so to speak. At what point do you have to push the envelope in practice, getting ready for that first game, and knowing you got Texas A&M the following week in the case of Arizona State?
Yeah, you know what? I just talked to a buddy of mine that just took a job at BMI, and they were talking about that, and they've been, over the course of history, pretty bad, and it's a fine line, and they run those are a lot of Navy guys that work there now, and they run some sort of a hybrid of the bone, and just we were talking about that. How much do you tackle? How many days a week do you go hard? Again, with those numbers and the way they are, where does that, what's the fine line? And, if you do it one way and you have success, you think that's the right way, and then you come back the next year, and we were talking just about this exact scenario. You could do it the exact same way the next year and get 6 injuries.
Sure.
I think philosophically, though, you have to have an idea about, and I'm a firm believer you have to tackle, until they start playing, flag year round, you have to tackle and you have to be careful. But I don't, and everybody's different, but, you can pound and pound and pound. And I think there's some merit to that, but where's the line in the sand, so to speak? And I think that's obviously, every head coach is different, from a philosophical standpoint. But I'm a firm believer that you have to practice tackling. If you don't, you get into games and you haven't done it, and it shows up. And, so I think those opinions are going to vary. But I think somewhere along the line, everybody has to practice tackling and has to practice some sort of physicality, because it's still a physical game. And where that line is drawn is obviously, different for each respective coach and their programs.
Coach, it sounds like by you talking about tackling 3 or 4 times there, that the emphasis is making sure your defense is ready to go versus an A&M, or for U of A, it's BYU. That being said, let's get the offensive side. Who are you getting more ready? Or who's the priority, offensive line / running game, or making sure your quarterback has got everything pretty much battened down when you take on the A&Ms and BYUs of the world?
Well, and this as a QB guy, at the end of the day, it all starts with that trigger guy, and you have to get him ready, whether that's timing, whether that's pocket presence, and how do you develop that, and inside run and getting those guys lathered up and toughened up, so to speak, because, you can't not do that and then go out and expect in game one, I don't care who you're playing, and expect to have great results. So, that's I think with one, you can't have the other, right? So if you say, hey, we're going to run the football and be strong up front, well, then your defense has to be stout against the run, and they got to fit gaps, and they got to use their hands and be physical. And I think that all, kind of blends into one, but how much of that do you do?
He's Charlie Ragle joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN Radio 620. So, Coach, as we get closer and closer, there's quarterback battles for the most part, right? But how much does it play in now with NIL? The job is to win games, but you just pay this kid $1 million, but the guy that's behind him is only getting paid $250. But man, he's lights out. How do you do that, or do you have to go in with the money now, the way that the sport is going?
No, that is a slippery slope, right?
Sure is.
You invest in a guy, you put your money into him, and you expect that guy to answer. But at the end of the day, if you've got a guy that beats him out, bottom line is to win games, so the best guy's still going to play. But, I think that's where it starts with that guy, and you can't miss. You can't miss. You pay that guy, $1 million plus, some places more than that, obviously. But that guy has to deliver, and if he doesn't, then you darn sure better have a backup that can, come in and win you some games. Because if not, then that's the way of the program. So that's tricky. But I think that's where the evaluations come in, and finding the right talent, but also the right character of the kid that is going to not only be able to, deliver all the things during the game, but a lot of that stuff comes off the field, and a lot of those guys that have success are obviously talented, but their teammates gravitate towards them, and those guys want to play for that guy. And you've got to find that guy. You got to find a field general, but you got to find the guy that people want to be with and hang with and do things off the field with. And that's where you really win a lot of games, is building that camaraderie between, when he gets there and up to the season and through the season.
Well, speaking of that guy, Coach, you saw one of those guys, Sam Levitt, front and center for a couple of years at ASU. Now he's at LSU. Talk to us, the Lane Kiffin way of life, LSU, the SEC. How do you think he'll fit in with that situation there in Baton Rouge?
Well, I love Baton Rouge. Great food. He's got to prove himself, I think. I think Sam left here. It is what it is. Like, that's part of the business. I know people don't like it, and I don't necessarily disagree. But, if you're in those same shoes and the money's right, you're probably doing the same thing. And anybody that says they're not is delusional. They're a fan. But I do think Sam has to prove himself as being a great quarterback. There's no doubt he's a phenomenal athlete, and that's obvious from what he did here at ASU. He was surrounded by some very good players in Cam and then obviously Jordan. But he's got to show that he can dial up defenses. He can read coverages, sit in that pocket, and make those throws if he wants to be successful at LSU and then on to the next level. So I think this is a big season for Sam.
Coach, just so you know, so like on Fridays, Manuch and I both drink our coffee black. Yeah. So make sure you get to the drive-through. We don't like Starbucks, so go somewhere else. We like press coffee. So if you want to scoot in there and Sprouts, so just cruise and get a couple large, some coffees for us each Friday, and you'll fit right in.
Since you're the rookie, Since you're the rook,
I'm a little offended that you wouldn't think that I'd bring pressed coffee. I mean, like, come on, high level stuff we're going here. I mean, like, come on, man. I work at Chaparral, buddy. We drink our coffee with our pinkies up.
Oh, I love it. Coach, we love you, buddy. We're so excited to have you on board and part of the team, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks so much. Have yourself a great weekend.
You guys too, and appreciate you as always, and take care, and looking forward to a great season. Talk to you soon.
All right, that's Charlie Ragle joining us here. Compliments of Crest Insurance. So we're kind of excited about Crest being part of us again. They've been with us for the last couple of years with Charlie, but we are stepping up the game. We'll be at Twin Peaks. Not Twin Peaks. We'll be Twin Peaks every Thursday, but every Friday we'll be at DraftKings at TPC Scottsdale. That's where the T's, too many T's. But we'll have some fun with that. So good stuff. Looking forward to that. Coming up, you'll hear from Jerry Hairston Jr. on the D-backs rivalry with the Dodgers. That's all next here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN Radio 620.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
When tragedy strikes, the impact is immediate and devastating. That's when the 100 Club of Arizona steps in, providing financial assistance, guidance, and emotional support to the families of public safety officers injured or killed in the line of duty. They also invest in mental health resources, injury prevention, and scholarships for the children of first responders. Every day, Arizona's public safety professionals put their lives on the line. The 100 Club of Arizona has their back. Learn more at 100club.org.
Ball players, legends. One incredible weekend of golf. It's the MLB Retired Players Association Celebrity Classic, September 19th through the 21st at Ocotillo Golf Club in Chandler. Play around paired with an actual MLB player, plus swag, breakfast, and lunch while raising money for retired players, kids with autism through Music Movement, and ASU baseball scholarships. Foursomes are going fast. Register today at music-movement.org. That's music-movement.org.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is not enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today. 977-1900.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First, drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow. You sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips. Because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
Sure. I mean, you never want to get your butt kicked anytime, anywhere. And we know there's some history. People forget it wasn't that long ago where the Dodgers lost to the D-backs, and the D-backs went to the World Series. Players remember that. They do understand that this is the regular season. You never want to, put too much weight on regular season games, but at the same time, you're there to win series. You take it series by series. Where the D-backs are playing great baseball, they always seem to play great baseball against you if you're the Dodgers. So you better be able to bring your A game, especially in the desert, because this D-backs team is playing well and extremely talented.
Gary Hairston Jr., Spectrum, Los Angeles, works for the Dodgers now. Of course, he's got himself a World Series ring with the Yankees and played 16 years in the league. Of course, his brother as well. Played for the Diamondbacks, and his father, his grandfather, so he knows what he's talking about. Our one call, that's all, is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe. If you've been injured in an accident, don't try to handle it alone. Lerner and Rowe has been voted Arizona's best personal injury law firm year after year. So if you've been in a wreck and you need that check, make one call. That's all, 602-977-1900. All right, so you got D-backs and Dodgers tonight from Chase, 640. They'll be playing Saturday and Sunday. You'll be able to hear it all on Arizona Sports 98.7. So the pregame will get started just after 6 o'clock. So you'll be able to listen to the games all weekend. We got some ESPN baseball tomorrow night and Sunday. So we got various games that will be played here on the network. So that'll be good. Overall, other than that, quiet weekend of sports, to be honest with you. This is kind of the calm before the storm. So if you got some of those honey-do list things you need to do before football season,
get them done
before your fantasy draft, this may be a good weekend to, try to take care of that. I don't think it's going to be too hot, Manuch. You're the weather guy.
It's going to be,
105,
no. We're going to be pushing 114 tomorrow.
Damn.
And 114 on Sunday. And then next week we'll start to cool down to about 106 to 107 degrees with more chance of rain later on in the week. So we're going to still be a little toasty this weekend. So if you're out there, I recommend highly get out there early.
So do I play tomorrow or not?
Well, if you teed off at 7:30 in the morning, you'd be good. Fine. Get your 18 in. Get done by 10:30, 11, before it heats up to about 110. And you'll be good to go.
It's the worst.
A little toasty.
It just is. It's just so uncomfortable.
This
sometimes.
hopefully, well, what it is the they call it the dew factor is like 66, 67. So it's really muggy. So the heat index, if it's 114 degrees, heat index feels like 120. Kind of like when you're back east, it's 95 degrees in Philly or New Jersey, and it's real muggy, and it's 105 index factor. You know.
Yeah, but does anybody really know what 120 feels like?
Yes.
You can't walk out and say, "Oh, put your finger in the air, wet your finger, and say, okay, it's 120." How do you know?
It's difficult. But when you grow up out here, if it's pushing 115 to 120, you're going, damn, it's hot.
No, I think 110 is the number. I mean, I've been here 30 plus. It's 110. And then when you get in your car and you see 120
on your dash,
I felt 125 last week.
Yeah, I did too.
In my dash. I'm like, dude,
yep.
That can't be good. I literally took my car to a car wash just to cool it down. I'm like, why don't I just give him take care of my car? I felt bad for him. I felt bad for my car.
Just don't throw that cold water on your windshield.
Yeah, just put it.
By the way,
my windshield. All right. By the way, real quick, just want to let you know what's on tap. As is always brought to you by Bud Light, the official partner of Roc Manuch and Jimmy B. All 5 Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and scenic views.
It's interesting. Last 30 games, it's the Dodgers it's a 20-19 edge over the Diamondbacks. So it's pretty much.
But that doesn't matter. It's 500 right now.
500 right now.
It's
5-5. Yeah. But I'm just saying, a lot of people think it's closer than people think. We look at the last 30 games.
Padres, same thing.
Yes, Padres. They're all even right now. And to your point, you brought up earlier, the last series is against San Diego Padres. So if you're fighting for that third wild card spot, and if it comes down to whoever wins that series gets that third wild card spot. Now, you still have the Phillies, you have the Cardinals, the Marlins, and also the Cubs. The Cubs are, 5.5 up in the first spot of that wild card right now.
I think they're going to be okay.
I think they'll be fine, too. They're on a roll. I mean, it's just going to be and then if they are all even, let's just say that it comes down to it and, one or the other gets it, then they would come down to, let's say the Phillies and Diamondbacks are tied to get into that third spot. They would look at the divisional records of the Diamondbacks, and then the Phillies would look at the divisional record for them in the National League East. And the same with the Padres would be that. So it'll come down to that. Boy, would you not want to see one more game.
You know that guy, Enos Kantner?
Kantner, yeah.
He's going to declare himself for the 2027 WNBA draft.
Are you serious?
Dude.
Unbelievable.
I think that's hilarious. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
WNBA is going to flip. They're going to lose their minds. They're going to have a former NBA player that's declaring himself
for the WNBA draft.
Mercury draft him. Kantner. Oh, my.